This is Chasing Truth. Sean G is on the air on the Paranormal Radio app and the Dark Waters channel over there, and also on my own channel on YouTube, Chasing the Truth Sean G. Hey folks, fantastic to see you guys out and about. Let's see, we got Zwickle and Edward Kung Fu Mashburn. Admia Thoria, Lakea's in the house. Lakea apparently has had a interesting 24 hours at least. And we'll be going over some of that stuff in just a little bit. Hopefully. Hold on just a second. Let me see what I got going on here. Oh, I got so many freaking windows open, it's ridiculous, but I wanted to... Yeah, let's pull down that beam me up stuff there and see how you guys doing. Claire Ellis, what's up? Getting my snacks ready, brought to Capicola. I am, okay, mozzarella. All right, there we go. Gypsy Road's out in the house there. Hey, what's going on, folks? Got a lot to talk about tonight. Hope you like the new setup I've got going on here. And Flat Rock, what's up, brother? Flat Rock, I appreciate you. Got a new way to be on the show. Not just the 931-994 number. If you don't like the call or don't have a phone, or don't want me to know your phone number, I've got a new way to get on the show. The only way you're going to be able to do this is if you got the link that I'm about ready to pop in the chat over there. It will be an audio-only chat, and I can get you on the air that way. It's through OBS Ninja, and the way I've got it set up that I've got complete control over audio, no video whatsoever. But if what I'll do is ask you, hey, I want to be on the show. What's your name? And it'll pop up on my screen that you want to be on here. So just wanted to let you guys know there's a different way to be on it. The OBS Ninja Chasing the Truth link is in there. If you want to be audio only, that's great. If not, if you want to be a part of the live call-in show, 931-994-6917. That's it. And, how you guys doing? Let's go in here and monkey with what I got. How you like the new screen I got set up here? UFO Dogmen, some grays, I guess, whatever that is. Nickel, what's going on? Let's go over here to the chat, see what's going on with the chat. Oh, wow. Cool stuff. We got a few things. And obviously, if you have been paying attention to Dogmancams and Vault of Nightmares channels on YouTube and various other states of being over on Facebook, you've probably seen a couple of things. And I've got the evidence that they went over. And I've also got the live Dogman cam feed in the backyard of Lakea and Vault of Nightmares. All I can tell you is who knows what's going to happen there. But we've got that going on here. And no time frame here. I'm not going to be live anywhere else across the board. But if you want to, go over to the Fringe FM. I'm on there Saturday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Central. And uprntalkradio.com, which both of them are not live with me tonight. But you are. And the Paranormal Radio app over on the Dark Waters. Dark Waters. Gee whiz, I need some more coffee. Dark Waters channel over on the Paranormal Radio app. Razor Wolf, buddy, what's going on? Brother from down under, hope you're feeling okay. I've got some, I think this is breakfast roast coffee. Got some breakfast roast coffee there. And if you want to be a part of the show, like I said, 931-994-6917 is the call-in number, which I need to pop that up. Hold on just a second. Number. There we go. There's that number. And why it has been overrun. Can't really see it. Let me change that up just a little bit there and lock that rascal in place. There you go. Fantastic. But we got plenty to go over tonight. And plus, who knows what will happen on the Dogman Cams. I've got the feed ready to go and we'll be able to hear it. 4:45, 0:45, 12:45. Long day for me. Holy cow. Well, Claire Ellis, I appreciate you. being, you know, at least making the live stream anyway. So, wow is all I can tell you. Got everything set up for a great show tonight. And again, for the folks that have the wrenches, copy this down. This is how people can get in to talk to me on audio only. They'll ask for a name, pop in the name, and it'll pop up on my screen, and they can be a part of the show on the live feed. Instead of calling, you can still call 931-994-6917 all day long. There you go. But it's only an audio feed only, and I've got all the video that I need for tonight, so I don't need you to see your face, so it's not going to give you the option to get in there to see your face, but it will definitely give you the ability to do an audio conference call with me via the internet web without having to give me your phone number. Bigfoot Anonymous, what's going on there? All right, so I guess what we'll probably need to do is, let's see. Let's go over here and see what, oh, here we go. I think, yeah, all right, let me pop this up. And let me clear this one out. This is actually the live feed from last night, live on, well, already recorded, but from Dark Waters, his live stream while he was doing the, looking at the cams last night. But let's see. There was a couple of howls that was caught on live stream last night on live cams. On the Dogmancams, there's 2 of them. And I've got both sections here. And let's see. Let me pop this up here just to make sure how many people's in here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this out. You know, I've only got 12 viewers. I don't want to go giving out this incredible stuff just to 12 viewers, but I will. At the top of the hour, we'll get this evidence here, and then I've got some more evidence of One-Eyed Willie that I have been gifted via, you know, second hand from Lakea to Dark Waters to me, and it's been spread around quite a bit there. But you never know what you're going to get when you have open lines. And if you didn't want to talk about Dogman or anything like that, or Bigfoot, supernatural stuff, that's what we're here for. Call-in show is Unscreened. Open lines, 931-994-6917. And if you don't want to call on the phone, you don't want me to know your number, which I wouldn't share your number out anyway, you can just hit the link in the chat. You can click that, and it'll take you to an OBS Ninja page, which will say, hey, what's your name? And it'll pop up on my screen over here that you want to be a part of the show. And it's only audio only. So I'll give this a go and see how that goes. But there you go. So that link, the OBS Ninja, works world round. So Admin Authority wants to know, how come I don't have merch yet? Well, we've been talking about it, Miss T and I. But there you go. Definitely hit that up. Now, the OBS Ninja is just temporary to tonight's show only. So as soon as the show is over, I close that room out, and that link's gone and done for the rest of the night. But the OBS Ninja allows you to connect to me audio only, and you can be on the show. And I thought I'd give that out according to, well, you know, I don't know if it'll work or not. It's similar to the StreamYard stuff, but this is OBS Ninja only. And I got great control over the audio. So even if you want to, you know, try to be one of these hot pockets and call in, you can. I don't care. It might make it fun. Don't blame me if you start sounding like an idiot on there. But there you go. Yeah, hit those likes. Share this rascal out. Get it out to everybody that you know that's available. Share it to your dog, your neighbor's dog, that parakeet that wakes you up in the middle of the night, next door neighbor that you don't like. If you want to spook them out, there you go. Yeah, I hope you like those graphics. Those graphics, kind of a show-to-show working state of art. From show to show, it changes. And I haven't really locked on to a particular theme yet, but I kind of like that one, actually. I kind of like that one. But what you guys drinking tonight? It's free to hit those likes, like Marquita Jones says in the chat with the wrench. She's hopping on and getting the word out in the chat. The Holmes Project. Don't talk about the beer on here. The beer. Yeah. Well, I haven't had a drop of beer or liquor or wine in 6 years. I'm mighty happy to say that. Been 6 years in 4 days, actually, I think. Maybe. It's within the week. I'll have to go back and look at my calendar. No, actually, I found a spot where you can get free artwork and free video stuff. And I just piecemealed it together. Long Island Bigfoot, thank you, appreciate that. Unfortunately, that's one of the reasons why I lost my freaking leg, was because of the alcoholism I endured for a little bit. But I had to learn a lesson. That was the lesson I learned. Thank God for that. But tonight we'll be talking about the Dogmancams project. And holy cow, last 24 hours has been like hot and heavy. So what we're going to do right now, since I've been right in the middle of this stuff, let's hop over to, let's go for here. All right. And this is on this opera thing. All right. Last night on Talking Dogman Opus 7, Dark Waters was going over why he had the Dogmancams project open. And then he caught this live in the backyard of Achaia in the Vault of Nightmares. So here we go. Let me make sure I got that thing here.
In Orleans Parish with their little mandates where they were like, you can't come in here. The fuck is that?
So I was on this live stream last night, just to let you know. I heard this live and I caught it and kind of took the audio off of it and emailed it to DW at the end of the show, but there you go. So what do you think that was, folks? Now, they've been talking about this quite a bit tonight. And this is 11:12. Let me get back here and we'll go back over here. And get right there. There we go.
Come in here.
Just one more time.
The fuck is that?
Yeah. What the fuck was that? What do you think that was? Claire Ellis says Sasquatch. And Joe, thank you, Joe, for that. Saying Art Bell and my name in the same sentence doesn't make sense to me, but all right, I appreciate it. I'm just doing my thing here. But if you want to be a part of the live chat, be on the air and talk to me directly on the air like you're talking on the phone, click that OBS Ninja link and you'll get in and it'll prompt you to give me your name. You can put whatever name you want to. It's free text. So if you want to be known as whatever XYZ, you can put it in there. But it'll pop up on my screen. Or you can call, as usual, 931-994-6917. So, are we talking about anything of interest tonight? It's whatever you think is interesting. Now, what I'm talking about tonight is what happened the last 24 hours in the back of the Dogmancams, only camera right now, but I think in the next week they'll probably have 4 cameras from what DW has been talking about, live across the southeast. From I think maybe one in Virginia, about 200 miles away from me, 300 miles as the crow flies. But that's what we got going on here. And then we got some One-Eyed Willie stuff. One-Eyed Willie which, on just a second, we'll get this thing going on here. Here's the One-Eyed Willie video. Apparently, Bald Nightmares called me right before the show and told me the story behind this. Hold on just a second. Let me get that one prepped. No, I don't want to play my intro music. At about 6:30 in the morning, this morning, over in the backyard of Vault of Nightmares in Lakea homestead, Lakea got woke up thinking that the dogs were barking in the house, and it turned out she woke up enough and heard it and said, "What the hell's going on?" Woke up Vault, and they caught this on their camera. Hold on just a second. Let me pull this back here. Now, you're going to have to look way back there in the back. Right above, I'd say, where the fire pit is, about 2 or 3 inches above that, where the dark line of the field pops in from the grass. Watch back there. Now, can you see that thing out there? All right, we got a unscreened caller calling in. Give me just a second, unscreened caller, and we'll get you live on the air in 3, 2, 1. Okay, what's your name and where are you from, sir or ma'am?
Hey, yes, my name is Drew, and I am from Vallejo, California.
Drew from California. Okay, what's going on, Drew?
I just wanted to, I had a UFO story to tell.
Awesome. All right, well, let's go. I want to hear this one. It's been a while since I heard a pretty good UFO story.
Man, I got some real cool stuff here for you. It's like, okay, so basically out here where I live is by an Air Force base. And these things have like cloaking devices. There's different shapes of them. The only way you can see them, though, is if you have a camera, a digital camera, and you superimpose the moon to where it's brighter than anything in the sky. Or what I've heard that you can also use night vision goggles. But the best way I've seen them is with the camera. And yeah.
So, are you talking like starlight filters, or what are you talking about? Or infrared?
You know what? You know what's crazy is that if you just superimpose, I'm not exactly sure. I just kind of did it on accident. But if you take that lens and you mess around with it to where that moon is brighter than anything in the sky, these things reflect off them. Now, the best place to see them is probably out in the country where you can see everything. But I think that they're more active around Air Force bases. About 2 years ago, it was like a super highway. Now it's like scattered in between. And if they are drones, I don't think we have too many people smart enough in our military to fly these things the way they were flying. They were very intelligent, and they move very fast using different angles. And they were, straight up like Star Wars, big triangles coming down into our atmosphere and coming down onto the base. There's like a separation from my town and the place where this base is, and there's these rolling hills. And I don't know if you heard about like the mound builders and different mounds and stuff like that. But there's mounds all through there, and the wind blows real crazy in that area. There's homes there and stuff like that. And my great cousin, he filmed a orb in the hills. He was just taking pictures of the hills because he has a camera, and took a picture of an orb. It was just like the orb you would hear about Paul or Saul was talking about in the Bible, the glowing light that came that was like more brilliant than the sun. Man, yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. And I've come to the conclusion, like, I don't know about Bigfoot or Sasquatch or those things, but I heard about I'm part Native American, and I've heard about the skinwalkers. I've heard about those, and if they are real and they are coming in, I've really seen these things, and I got pictures of these things. They're not the most high quality, but I got pictures, and we got film, and yeah. And
when's the last time you saw one of these UFOs, and where?
The last time I seen it, the last time I seen a UFO was probably about 6 months ago. We were just gazing out, and because now I look at the sky quite often. I started looking at it since I was a kid. We used to go to Yosemite. My dad would take us out there every year, man, from like age 8 to like 16 years old. And one of the times we were out there, man, we had a situation where everybody was kind of relaxing in the camp. It was nighttime. My mom was kind of upset because the men were drinking. She wanted everybody to go to sleep. And we were hanging out with the adults. Me and my friend were hanging out with my dad, and then while they were drinking, and they were looking at the sky because they noticed that something was moving in the sky that shouldn't be moving. And everybody was like, oh, it's a satellite. Who's this, man? Mom's yelling in the tent talking about, get y'all Negro, get back up in the tent. There ain't nothing out there. So, you know, they and everybody else that was there was like, she's tripping. It's really something out there. And me and my friend, we were looking at it too, like, dude, is it a satellite? Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this thing just makes the brightest flash in the sky and goes 90 degrees straight up. And like everybody was like, whoa. It's the most trivia thing ever. So ever since then, I've always like looked up, and I've always like questioned things and try to figure out why things are so difficult to figure out when it's so easy. Why is there poverty when there's rich people? Why is there this and that? You know, I always thought about that. And I always thought about, you know, the Bible that I read and what the preacher was telling me. I always read to verify what that guy was saying or what the teacher was telling me in college. I always read to verify, if not read ahead, to get my own understanding of what I read, you know? And I'm not no dummy. And am I live right now?
Yeah, you are live, absolutely.
Oh Lord, have mercy. All right.
You've been live since the moment I said, hey, what's your name?
Oh, you wasn't lying. That's what you say you do.
Yeah.
Hey, it's nice to meet you, man. Dark Waters, man. I've been on your channel, bro, since you came on Coast to Coast AM, and that's when I was still kind of asleep, thinking I was awoke. All right. So, and I've been kind of listening to you because you got those cool stories, man. I love that one clown story at the gas station. I don't know if he's listening right now. I want that one back, man. That one was pretty trippy, bro. The gas station with the clowns, man. And I'm sorry. And your stories, man, the people that call in really be making me think, because, like, you know, I've heard stories of Bigfoot. I've heard stories of Dogman and different things like that. I've never witnessed those, but I have witnessed some real strange things in my life, and things that have metaphysical things that have came into my life. And, you know, some people cry for God and don't hear a peep. Well, I prayed for him as a kid, and I'm getting like too much than I need. So I'm sorry. Is it Sean G?
Yeah, this is Sean G.
All right, Sean G. Hey, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Have you heard about the tree of life?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's in the Christian book in the Bible, and in all kinds of different folklores, and definitely in part of the Jewish tradition, the tree of life, and the tree of knowledge.
And I think I tapped into that bad boy, and I found out that everything is being coded in like numbers. And I was like, why is everything being coded with these numbers? Why are we seeing the same numbers? Because, like, if you look in, like, this is what I've come to, because if you use common sense, because we only live here for 100 years, but God blesses us to see these patterns, and some call it paranoia or whatever. But they help you see tigers. Yeah, they help you see tigers in the bush, so they don't attack you, type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So there's a fine line between. Yeah, absolutely. There's a fine line between paranoia and saving your life, and what I've learned is that these patterns are starting to show up because these things that are using these biological, mechanical ships or whatever you call them, interdimensional beings are using these things to triangulate their numbers in this so-called matrix, right. This thing that God has us in, to test us, to see, you know, so that we can move on to everlasting life, you know, because the war is going on and Satan's already lost, or Lucifer, or the Baphomet, whatever you want to call him. He's already lost, so he's taking everybody with him. And right now, while we're in this little paradox or dimension, these things that are flying in and out, they have the ability to use these numbers and stuff, and they've been manipulating us to separate us, dividing us by color, and making us fall in line. But it's all yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you guys tonight, man.
All right.
I thank you, Sean G.
Well, appreciate you, Drew, for calling in, brother.
Yeah, learn gematria, you guys, and bless you guys. God bless you all.
God bless you. Appreciate you calling in, Drew, from California, and his UFO story. Wow. And thank you again, Drew. Interesting, to say the least. Of course, this is open lines, unscreened open lines, call-in show. You know, that means that, you know, I've got some stuff in the background that I can fill in, which I've got the live feed from the Dogmancams Vault1 live camera in the background. Just waiting to get on board there. But if you want to be a part of the show, the number is 931-994-6917. And those folks over there outside of the Paranormal Radio app, Dark Waters channel, if you're over in the not the Dark Waters YouTube, but my YouTube, Chasing the Truth, Sean G, if you're in that YouTube, Marquita is dropping the OBS Ninja link. You jump in there, it's free to click and it's easy to get in. All you have to do is just type your name or whatever name you want me to call you by and hit start, and you'll be in that room and I'll be able to see you and we'll get you on board here. And there you go. Be just like talking to me on the phone, other than I won't know your number, but I wouldn't tell the number anyway. So 931-994-6917 is the number to call if you got a wild story that nobody really wants to talk about with you. I'll talk about it with you. If you waited your entire life and said, this happened to me, but I can't really share it, well, this is the place to share it. And that's, yeah, you can call in, Joshua, tell us about your paranormal experience for sure. You either call the number. Oh, wait a minute. We actually do have a new first-time person calling in on the OBS link. Josh, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
You're live. You're live on the air right now, buddy.
Okay, hold on.
All right, well, we're holding on for just a second.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know it was going to actually work.
Yeah. Well, I tested it out plenty of times to make sure it worked before I got on there. Hopefully it works. And everybody hearing Josh okay? So go ahead. What kind of paranormal story you got there, Josh? Hello? You there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. How do I get it to stop making an echo? Do you know?
Let's see. Let me put you on. Let me mute you. Maybe that'll do it. Hold on just a second. Let's see. Mute. Nope. Unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe that's do you have the audio? Do you have the?
I'll try calling. I can't tell a story with this echo. Too much.
Yeah, well,
sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. Go ahead. Apologize for it. maybe the link is just a little weird there. I apologize for that altogether. But just call in 931-994-6917. Apparently, that link is going to be dead in just a couple of seconds. So,
Okay.
All right, just call the 931-994-6917. We'll get you going. I'll figure out that echo problem. All right, that test drive of that OBS, the way I've got it set up, I needed to, do something else with it, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. Wait a minute. Actually, I think I could probably still do it, but I'll have to work at it for next show. I think I've got it figured out. But Marquita, if you would stop dropping that OBS Ninja thing in there. But echo, echo, echo. Yeah, Lisa Ray, unfortunately, that's the way it went. I'll figure it out. 931-994-6917. Dragon ZW, I saw that you tried to call in. You want me to call you back there, brother? I'll give you a go here. Give me just a second. And let's get Dragon ZW here on the phone. See what's going on here. Give him a ring-a-ding-a-ding-ding. Hello, is this Dragon ZW? Hello?
Hello. Thank you for calling me back, sir. This is Dragon.
Hey, buddy. Now, I apologize again.
Cool.
Let me apologize again for the folks that are trying to click into that link. Unfortunately, there's some echo issues that I've got to pan out before I use that on there. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. I think I got it figured out. I've got
Those links are so weird.
I got a weird loop or something going on with the audio with that, but I think pretty sure I got it figured out, so I can get that going. But yeah. So what's up with you, brother?
Not a whole lot. I told you I'd call and explain the pictures I sent you Halloween night.
Oh, okay. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I got those pictures up.
Now, see, I'm not in front of my PC, so you have to tell me which one you're showing first.
Well, first off, I've got to find them. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I still have. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. Let me see.
This way.
I'll probably have to grab them from the. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll grab them from my email and put them up. So, tell me what the background for this. You said you. Oh, excuse me. Never eat before you get on there.
Oh, I know, it sucks. Well, I was watching Gamma because I like to give her views, and then I jumped off, did dishes real fast. Was hoping to be with you by 9, and I'm surprised I was on it.
On it. Yeah.
Well,
All
you
right.
were on a little earlier than that, but I tried to get on at least by 9.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to add this to the screen as of right now. The picture I've got, it looks like you got 2 finger marks on your arm there.
Okay. What happens is this started about 4 years ago. In the other picture, you can't really see. There's a bunch of real deep scratches. They're white. I'm kind of fair-skinned. So I really couldn't get a good, picture of it. But yeah, I had a bunch of scratches on both arms. And they started about, usually I don't get bothered by anything. I understand you see them, they're going to see you at one point. I get that. But I've never had a problem until about 4 years ago. And it seems like it always happens on Hallows Eve night and Halloween night. Now, Halloween night is not as bad as Hallows Eve night. Most of the scars, and the one I showed you, all come from waking up that Sunday morning, the day of Halloween. I went to sleep about 2 hours and woke up to the sensation Sunday of somebody grabbing my arm. And I can actually felt like it was being pulled. So I woke up thinking that somebody was trying to wake me up, and nobody was there. And I'm like, my hand burns. And I looked down, and you couldn't take a picture. I couldn't take a picture of the bruise that's on the opposite side of those 2 marks. It literally looked like somebody grabbed me with their thumb and their fingers and just dug into me. The 2 red marks were the worst ones. They were kind of bleeding, but I really didn't see any, holes or anything, but they pussed up real good during the day, and then they just started to fade away. I still have them. They don't look as bad now. But, yeah, it just seems to be a thing. I've just gotten to the point now where I'm beginning to think I do protect myself when I see these things because I try not to interact with them as much as possible. But like I said, the last 4 Halloweens, or those 2 nights, now Sunday night, I just had the creeps. I just stayed up all night and just felt like every time I went outside, I felt like somebody was watching me. So I just stayed in after I handed out candy and just, watched everybody stream and jumped on yours. Heck, it was like almost 4 a.m. that Monday morning when I finally laid down. Right. But, yeah, I'm beginning to think that somebody I talked to somebody about this about a year ago, because last year I woke up with scratches on my belly. And so I went and talked to a friend that I know that into that too. And so they told me the big thing is Halloween nights and, everybody doing their thing. It's kind of like a strong night for these things. He said, you've seen something that may not like you seeing it, and he's now attacking you on his strongest moments. So or whatever it is. And that's what I'm beginning to think, because it only happens in those 2 nights. And it's really weird. And it's nothing like really major. It doesn't scare me. It just kind of freaks me out. But yeah, I had to kind of do a lot of praying Sunday because those really freaked me out because they hurt. I mean, they got all nasty and pussy and all red. And it did. It looked like when I first looked at them, it looked like somebody took a cigarette and burned me. But that's not what it burned, but not like that.
So what do you think caused that?
I'm thinking it's either one of the shadow entities I've seen. And I still see them. I mean, I don't see them like all the time, but like 2 weeks ago when I was at the doctor's office, I saw one standing behind a lady. And of course, I didn't say nothing because I never know what kind of reaction I'm going to get. And it's sometimes better if I just kind of observe. And it didn't do anything. I didn't get anything from it. It just was standing there. It was an old woman. I'd say a little older than I am, and I'm 58, so I'll say early 60s. And she looked happy, so I just watched it, but I don't know. I've either seen something that has come back for me and it's coming back on its strongest night, I guess. Is there anything I can think of? Because like I said, it's weird. I mean, but everything I see is weird. I mean, I've had so many people say, like the black-eyed kids I see. People go, I've never seen those types of black-eyed kids. And I go, apparently you don't stay in the hospital. That's where I see them. But it is weird because I seem to see things. Now, I am going around talking to people with pad counters, trying to email some people, because I had heard other people saying that. Now, see, I don't think it was a black-eyed kid. I actually think it was some type of shadow entity that is doing this. And that I've seen, because I've seen some ones that were kind of scary. So I'm thinking maybe I saw one and it saw me and I just didn't think it saw me. And it just comes back every year. Last 4 years, because it had to happen 4 years ago, before that Halloween 4 years ago, because I didn't have a problem, and I kept it quiet because I wasn't sure if it was me doing it in bed. But the last 2 years, I was like, no, this is not me. This is definitely something else. And and like I said, it's bad that Hallows Eve, but it's kind of tame on Halloween night. On Halloween night, it just feels like I'm being watched. Now, it's like I'm not the observer anymore. Somebody's observing me. And then it goes away. By Monday afternoon, I start feeling good again. It's not like I feel bad. I just feel watched and just creepy feeling. But back to the black-eyed kids. You have to forgive my rambling. I've been running all day. Yeah, it's just weird because I'm trying to find people. Now, I've had a couple people tell me they've seen black-eyed kids in T-shirts and blue jeans, hoodies. One said that she saw one in like one of those winter coats with the fur around the hoodie and stuff like that. So I'm glad I'm not seeing, at least people are seeing something. But yeah, I mean, and as for the white-eyed kid, I hope I don't ever see that one again, because that was just creepy.
Oh, gee whiz. So
yeah,
when's the last
I
time
told
you
you about that one?
Yeah. When was the last time you saw these
No,
things?
I have seen. No, last time I've seen the black-eyed boy was actually 2 weeks ago at a doctor's office having a test done. But he did. I know he never looks at me, so I don't think he sees me. But he was walking down a hall, down the hospital hall, and I'm like, this is so weird. And I keep asking people, do you see a little boy down the hall? And they always say no. I said, you sure you don't see a little kid, in bib overalls and a red and striped shirt? No. You sure? And they'd look at me like, you're a weird dude. And I just, okay.
What are you on?
Yeah.
Kind of response.
How much are they shooting you up in this hospital?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I won't let them give me painkillers. So, but yeah, the one I saw, that was kind of, I wouldn't say weird. It was just surprising because I'm usually seeing him stand in front of a doorway or kind of by somebody on a gurney. But this is the first time I've just seen him actually traveling. And his back was to me, and I knew who it was because he was wearing the bib overalls and a red and striped shirt. And those don't bother me because it's almost like every other time to every third time or every couple times I see him at the hospital. Now it's been a while since I've seen him with another one. A while ago, I was seeing two of them. It seemed like him and either a younger one. But now it's just him again. So there you go.
Do these things follow you home, or are they just at the hospital?
I just see them at the hospitals. Now, I see the shadow, and I call them entities. It doesn't bother me people call them shadow people. It's just sometimes you really kind of watch, because you can be fooled. And so that's why I call them shadow entities, because I don't allow myself to get close enough. Now, sometimes I can tell it's a shadow person just by the way I feel when it's following a person. You know, like I told you the story of the old elderly couple with a shadow walking behind them with its hands on their shoulders, and they were happy. That I felt like was a loved one that is watching over them. I got that feeling. But with some of these, I don't get any feelings. So I hesitate calling them a person or a spirit or a ghost. I just prefer to use the word entity.
Okay. Wow.
But I see them quite a bit. And there would be like a week or two I don't see them. And then I'll see one, like I said, at a doctor's office or at the grocery store. I've seen them following or actually standing by people at the gas pumps. The weirdest one I saw was I watched an elderly man go in the bathroom, and I didn't see it behind him when he went in the bathroom, but it definitely came out of the bathroom with him. And that kind of bothered me because I don't know if there was something in that bathroom that just immediately attached itself to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that was weird. Now, that was kind of weird for me. Because usually I see him, the whole time that person's around. I think the ones that bother me most is when I see them following little kids. And I've seen that quite a bit.
Now, where do you see these at? Inside the hospital or outside the hospital?
Actually at playgrounds. I've seen them at parks when, with families and their kids. The ones that bother me the most is I'll see little children like playing on a playground, and then I'll see this little tiny shadow kind of lurking behind the group, if they're like in a group. And that bothers me because that's when I start thinking, okay, is that a fae or is that an actual shadow entity? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just this black little, it looks like a mist, but I've seen those around kids quite a bit lately. And that does bother me because I don't know what their intentions are because I don't allow myself to get close enough to pick up anything.
Right.
But I guess I'm going to have to when it comes to the kids because it's kind of freaky to see it. I mean, I stand there and rub my eyes and go, oh, no, I'm not seeing that one. No. Not with a kid. But I've seen big ones with kids, and that bothers me. But the little ones, for some reason, seem to give off a little scarier of a vibe.
Right. Wow.
But those are the things I've seen. But you know that already.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised, you the problem I had with the audio earlier was before you got on, but about every other time that I've talked to you on live on air, something happens. Thank God that
I'm surprised. That's kind of why I didn't call. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh,
that's
no.
Why I didn't.
No. I'm glad.
I'm kind of glad that's why I didn't call on Halloween night when you were on, because I was going to call and I'm like, I don't know if I should chance it. So that's why I said what I said.
Well, that's all right. You could have called in anytime.
I didn't want to get myself
It just proves to me.
It
just proves to me doing a prayer with Miss T before I get on the air before every show works. So there you go. Oh yeah, power of prayer is strong.
It does. Now, I do. Like I said, I do. That's what bothers me about. Yeah, that's what bothers me about this Halloween thing. The last 4 and bam, and I really gone extra to protect myself. I mean, next year I may just go ahead and get some sea salt, get it blessed, some holy water, and just do my whole room.
Oh, there you go.
Before Eve night, just leave it there all until Monday, or whatever the day is after, because those kind of bothered me, because they were, when I got red marks, were huge. I mean, you could see other fingernail marks, but those two were the worst. And I'm thinking it was like the two middle fingers, because those are your longest fingers. But yeah, they were huge. They were nasty. I actually thought I got burnt with cigarette butt. And I'm like, no, that doesn't burn like that. I mean, I figured I'd be screaming if that was the case. But they burned, they swole up, and by noon they were already the swelling was gone. They were starting to fade, and I'm like, whew. And then the bruise on the other side, it looked real nasty for like 2 hours, and then immediately started to fade. But that's the first time. I mean, the scratches, they bother me. The first 2 scratches I got 4 years ago, they were deep. And you can see that they were deep. And I had to take care of them. I almost thought about going to get stitches on. But that was the same thing. I'd woke up thinking somebody was pulling my arm. And next thing I know, I wake up and touch my arm. I had blood all over my hands. I'm like, what the heck? And I'm checking my bed for, something I might have dragged in bed with me or something. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Well, heck, I did that.
I had a couple people tell you.
Here's the weird one. I was telling ghost stories, true ghost stories that were personal to me. One about 2 Halloweens ago, on various platforms, from Discord to calling into a show, and I felt something, stinging on the back of my leg. And I reached down and rubbed the back of my only leg I got. Come up, and I got blood on my hands. Like, what the hell's going on here, Mary? And I've had 5 scratches down the back of my calf. I got the pictures of it, but I'd have to go look, and it'd take me too long to find those pictures. But there you go.
Yeah, I'm just beginning to think that something's trying to tell me either keep my mouth shut or to stay back. That's the only thing I think of. And whatever it is, it's kind of strong. That's the only thing. It's got some willpower, I guess. I must have pissed it off. So, and I'm seeing, lady said the same thing. It's strange it's not attacking you all the time. I said, no, it's just been the last 4 Halloweens. And it's always, the worst night is Hallows Eve. And then Halloween night, it just feels like I'm being watched. It feels like the opposite. I can imagine what it feels like me, because I watch not only those, but I also like to watch people. I'm just an observer and a watcher. I watch. I'm very aware of my surroundings, let's put it that way. And I don't know. It's just so weird that it's not staying on me. And that's the only thing we could think of that's the only time it seems it can come at me. But I don't understand what it is. I got to figure out what it is first and what I did to piss it off, because that's the only thing I think of.
What do you think Halloween Eve, the eve of Halloween, what is it? Is the veil thinning, or what do you think
I
is
always
the cause
understood.
of it?
Now, see, there's probably people in chat that know that better than I do. But I always believe Hallows Eve was the starting of the veil lifting. Okay. That's what I always thought. And there are usually there's usually rituals done that night and Halloween night. So I don't know. I try to stay away from witchcraft and magic stuff. I know what I need to know to protect me, I guess, but I really try not to, mess with it too much.
Right.
And kind of keep my distance from it. Because like I said, I mean, after dealing with the crazy ass, pardon my mouth, demon I dealt with a while back ago, I don't want to go through that again. I mean, I literally went into hiding for almost 2 months after that. And that's when everybody said, hey, Steve, you're not supposed to do that. You don't get involved. If you think somebody needs help, go get them help. But don't you get involved. Your job is just to observe and watch. I said, okay. I know now.
Right.
So that's what confuses me about this. But it's just weird. I thought it was my way of saying, hey, yeah, I guess I am getting attacked. Because I had a couple of people ask me after stream and later, how come you never get attacked? And I go, well, I try not to let them know I see them. Even though we know if I see them, there's a big chance they see me. But not to interact, not to call it out. That, I'm learned now that if I see something I know it's bad, I try to let the person know in some form or another without them freaking out or calling me a freak.
Right.
Or if I know the person, I do try to get them help from somebody a little more technical in that atmosphere, as I would say.
Wow.
So
that's you've been blessed with a gift to, be able to see from, through the ether or whatever comes past ether on our side. And I get it, and I know why, I see not as much as Miss T does, but I see quite a bit since I come back from my near-death experience. So I think you got a gift. I think you got a gift. What you do with it, it's everybody's choice.
Yeah. Well, I was just, I try to warn people if I feel it's bad. I never get it. Sometimes, surprisingly enough, I get a pretty positive reaction, but most of the time people just kind of look at me weird. I think a lot of my fear this stuff went away when I was 12. I don't know if I told you about the experience I had when I was 12 years old. That's when my hair literally turned white. And it was white for a very long time, but I had blonde hair. But it went from blonde to white. And I was 12. It was about a year. And I was over at a friend's at the other side of the cemetery I lived beside. I cut through the cemetery. And I was there way too long one night. And my dad is one of those guys that whistles with his fingers. And it is so loud. You could literally, if it's good and quiet, you could hear it 3 blocks away. And I barely heard his whistle. And I went, oh, shit, I better go home. Pardon my mouth again. And booked it. And I'll cut through the cemetery to cut down time. Well, it was just past, it was getting dark. It was a full moon. And I'd walk, just as I walked in around the fence at the back of the cemetery, I noticed for as bright as the moon was, it was really dark. I mean, there's a lot of trees in the cemetery, but, there's still light coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't feel like any light was coming through those trees. And I kind of paused and I go, what the heck? Why does it look like this? You get that sense of, it's too dark in here. Well, I kind of blew it off and started walking where there's a mausoleum that I passed. It's just one building. There's only one mausoleum in this cemetery. And it's not very big. It's just a big square brick building. And I started to walk by it. The mausoleum has those stained window glass on the doors. And then they're big iron doors with stained glass in the middle of them. And as I was passing it, what looked like a flashlight from inside. And I'm like, the caretaker was still alive, and his name was John. I thought, oh, John must be in there doing something. Something's wrong. And he was an older guy. So I figured, I'll stop in and say hi to John. As I started walking toward the mausoleum, the light just disappeared. And then all of a sudden it got real bright just inside the dark door. So the inside of the building is dark, dark, dark. And just except for this one big orb light that was very bright. As it came through the doors, I stopped and went, just kind of in shock. And I'm going, I'm seeing crap again. And it started, and as it passed through the darkness of the door, it literally became a shadow on the ground with its arms held out like it looked like a human cross. And it literally started coming to me. As it coming to me, I'm backing up. I didn't run. I just was more curious where that shadow literally lifted up. And it became a standing shadow right in front of me. And I'm not freaking out, but I'm kind of not sure what's going on. And it passed through me. And first it was real cold. Then it got really warm. I mean, like getting into a warm shower and feeling good. You know how you get in a warm shower and you go, oh, that's what it felt like. And as it passed through me, I heard a voice say, Steve, I have a different path for you to take. And it was gone. I kind of stood there for a few minutes, kind of froze in my tracks, trying to make sense of what just happened. I kind of came to, ran home, walked in the front door. Mom goes, you're late. You should have been here when your dad whistled. And then she came around the kitchen. Our kitchen's like in the middle of the house. And she looked around the corner and she goes, what did you do to your hair? And I'm like, what? And she goes, what did you do to your hair? I said, I did nothing to my hair. She goes, go look in the mirror. Whereas I'm heading to the bathroom, my dad's coming out of the back den, and I hear him say, why the hell did he bleach his hair? And Mom goes, I don't think he bleached it because I didn't smell any bleach. Well, I go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and my hair and my eyebrows are completely white. I mean, white as snow. I didn't freak out. I just kind of casually gathered my crap and walked back there and looked at him and go, Dad, Mom, I swear I didn't do nothing to my hair. And then I told him what had just happened. Dad just goes, well, maybe you're seeing things, I still rock in my sleep then. I was really bad at that time, and I still am. So he made the comment, you rock all night, you barely sleep, you're just seeing stuff, and walked away. And Mom goes, I think I believe you. Just why don't you go ahead and go to bed? So I went into bed. She brought me a sandwich. I ate my sandwich. The next morning, it was a Friday, and I come out, my dad's reading the paper, and it was funny because he goes, you're not going to school looking like that. And I go, what? Because you're not, because up until we were 10, we had to have our heads shaved, military cut. And then after we hit 10, we were allowed, to either shave it or grow it out. So I had just started growing my hair out. So I didn't want to cut it. And he goes, you're going to get your head shaved. I can't let you go to school like that. They won't leave you alone. So he shaved my head, and hair grows fast. But yeah, by within a couple months, everybody was going, what'd you do? Why do you have white hair? And stuff like that. And you don't know what to tell them. So I just kind of play it off. But yeah, ever since then, I just never been, I know when to fear, when to have the fear, or when to be scared. It's like, I know, okay, Steve, it's time to put the defenses up and go. But unlike when I was younger before that, that crap just terrified me, because I saw my first Hat Man when I was in 5th grade, literally inside the school following a teacher. And it turned and looked at me, and all I can see was a smile, just a big white smile. And he tipped its hat at me and then went back to following the teacher again. And I literally woke up to my dad standing in front of me in the classroom going, Steve, it's time to go home.
Right.
So.
Wow. Well, Steve, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I've got.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to talk too long.
No. That's all right. You have fantastic stories, and I've had like 4 callers behind you. calling in.
Oh, good. Let them. Let them call. So
right.
tell them I said hi, and I'll be on in a minute.
All right, brother. Take care.
Thank you for your time, Sean.
Oh, yeah, it's always wonderful to talk to you, sir. Appreciate you. Dragon ZW, Steve, he's...
Take care, everybody. I'll see you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right, we got another caller coming in. Let's see. Right here. Okay, Unscreened caller, you are live on the air. What's going on? What's your name? And where are you from?
Hey, Sean, how you doing? My name is Jesse. Can you hear me all right? I got you on speaker.
Nope, I can't. You need probably get off that.
Let me change that. How's that?
All right, what's your name, man?
All right, name's Jesse. I'm from San Diego, California. How you doing?
San Diego, California. I'm doing great.
Yes, sir. Wonderful. Well, I am a somewhat new fan, but definitely a big fan. I love what your guys are putting out. Also a big fan of DW.
Oh, yeah.
And Vault, of course. And so I got a story that I haven't shared publicly with anyone, but I've heard a couple of stories on this show that were kind of similar, so I figured I'd give you a call. It's not the most exciting story in the world, but it was definitely an interesting experience of mine.
Right.
So it has to do with Bigfoot, and it's a mind speak experience, what y'all are calling mind speak.
Right.
I've up until this point just called it telepathy. I've had several other experiences with telepathy, like full-on conversations before, but this was different. This was very, very different. So I was in Northern California. To be specific, I was on the Avenue of the Giants, right near Myers Flat.
Right.
In that area, I mean, everyone knows that the redwoods got Squatch in them, but I had never had an encounter or seen anything. So it was nighttime, and this was harvest season, and a group of friends and we decided to go for a little night walk down the Avenue of the Giants and into the redwoods. So we head down. It's not too late in the evening or anything. We take a walk down there. If you're familiar with the area, Myers Flat is basically positioned right in the center of redwoods. There's everywhere that you look around you, it's just redwoods. And the only way to get there in and out is the two-lane highway, Avenue of the Giants. So, the second you step out of town, you're in redwood forest. Mm-hmm. So we had walked maybe 200 yards, hardly that far away. And we found a redwood stump. This redwood stump was about 6 feet high, but it was flat on top. So we figured we could climb on top of that, sit there and partake in our adult activities. So we're up there. And by the way, that's all that was going on that night. There were no psychedelics, hallucinogens, anything of the nature, and no alcohol. And so we're just sitting there, circled up, talking in the dark. We were all very comfortable in the woods at night. I've spent a lot of times in the woods at night. And the subject, so we're just talking, and I hear the sound of a stick break, right, really nearby. Now, if you've spent enough time in the woods, you can get a feel for the size of something by either the size of the stick that's breaking, or the volume of the snap itself, right? Mm-hmm. You know whether or not something is going to be a large animal or a small animal. And this was a large stick, large snap, but nothing like a Squatch grabbing a branch off a tree and just cracking it in half. Nothing like that. It just sounded like something at least the size of a human being stepping on a stick next to us. Now, there was no good reason for anybody to be in those woods at that time, especially without a flashlight, especially without saying hello to us. So our first thought was, everyone heard, our first thought was, let's pause for a second, check our surroundings, call out, make sure everything's okay, because there's some interesting folks in the hills. So we paused for a second, and then I got the thought occurred to me in my mind. I go, you know what? I wonder if that's almost jokingly, I wonder if that's a Sasquatch. Like, man, that would just be crazy if that was a Sasquatch. So nothing responded to us. So we went back to conversation, and then I started telling a story to my friends. And in the middle of this story, right, I'm going to describe this to the best of my ability, because it's kind of hard to describe, but it's almost like I start phasing out of the physical space. Almost like
So you kind of touched the metaphysical kind of deal.
Well, it's almost like I was being tuned into a frequency that took me away from sitting there on the log in front of my friends in the dark woods into just a space where I was I couldn't see my friends, wasn't in the woods, wasn't registering my physicality even. So I get into this space, and while I'm going into this space, my eyes start watering, my eyes start rolling up in the back of my head. And I wasn't short of breath, but my breath started, I took these little short bursts of breath, the kind of like, and it wasn't like I couldn't breathe. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on there. Okay. But then I get into this space. I can't feel, that my eyes are rolled back, but I know they are. And, from previously, and my breath has returned to normal. And I don't know if you've ever had a telepathic conversation, but the most beautiful thing about telepathy is that you don't have to speak the same language, and it communicates in context. It's almost like, have you ever heard, a picture, it's worth 1,000 words kind of a thing. It can be when we're just talking back and forth, you're not necessarily picking up what I'm feeling at the same time, but with telepathy, you're feeling what that person is trying to convey to you. It's incredible. I think it's the future of communication, honestly. So since I had just thought, that could be a Sasquatch, I had heard before from people that I knew that Sasquatch spoke telepathically to folks. I knew right then and there that I was that I had just been pulled into a telepathic communication space with a Sasquatch. And I go, so telepathically, right? It sounds like English in my mind, right? No matter what the person speaks, it sounds like the language coming at you. So I go, Sasquatch? And in the most Zen-centered and calm voice I have ever heard, right? It does sound like you're not hearing it with your ears, but you are picking it up, kind of like you hear your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I just heard, yes. And, I didn't, probably because I was in this space, I wasn't freaking out. I wasn't surprised or anything. I just go, wow, first of all. And secondly, I go, can you show us? Like, can you step out? Can you show, yourself to the rest of my friends here? And he goes, not yet. And in that not yet, the reason for the not yet was also conveyed to me, like the context of the not yet. It was no, this is not the time. These folks aren't ready for it. You're not even ready to see my face, let alone me step out from behind this tree in the dark right now. Like, no, not the time. So I go, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. And I go, can I, the end of the conversation is a little blurry for me. But the gist of it is I asked if I could do this anytime, if we could communicate like this in future. It was a very simple conversation, and their answers were very, very, very simple, but also very straight to the point and just so zen. So we finished the conversation, and I come out of this state, right? And I've been in trances, I've been in deep meditation, I've had these telepathic communications before, I've been in sensory deprivation takes, I've been in the void. Nothing has ever felt like this. So I come out of this space.
Wait. You've been in deprivation tanks?
Oh, sure.
Why did?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So why were you trying to reach out before any of this happened?
Oh, no. The reason why I mentioned those things is that I've been in a lot of sort of altered states of mind that one could call a trance state or an elevated state. Okay. And this felt like almost a trance state or an elevated state, but it was unique. It had a uniqueness to it. So we end the conversation. We say goodbye to each other, and I mean, this tree, by the way, this Squatch, this was maybe 7 feet away. Like, this is not far off in the woods. This is next to us. So I end the conversation, and I drop out of the space, and my friends, they're looking at me like, where'd you go, bud? Like, what the heck? Well, first of all, I completely just stopped telling my story. I went totally silent on them. So they go like, first of all, what happened? And also, what's the rest of the story? And I completely forgot what I was telling them. I completely forgot that I didn't forget that I was there with them, but I forgot that we had been in a conversation, that I had been leading the conversation.
So you just spaced out in front of them.
You know, this is nth degree spaced out. This is like someone pulling you up in the stratosphere for a little while and then setting you back down. I just, I didn't tell them because I didn't think it was necessarily a good idea, or, it just wasn't the time, right? The Sasquatch knew it made sense. It wasn't the time. So we just kind of carried on with our night. And that was about it. I never saw it, and I'm glad, because I knew I wasn't ready. I think you really got to be ready to see these things, and not everybody is when they do. But it's definitely something that I think is best eased into, because I think it can be kind of jarring, to if you don't encounter something like that, to suddenly be in front of something like that, even if everything's peaceful and everything's calm and everything's good. So yeah, man, I just wanted to share that with y'all, because I had never heard, I've heard different accounts of people having those kind of conversations with them, but I'd never heard anybody describe that sort of onboarding and offboarding process. So I didn't know if maybe you had heard of something like that.
I've heard of mind speak several times from, the Sasquatch. The other thing is how do we, same thing with mediumships. People that claim to, or do mediumships. How do they know who they're talking to? That's, and I get, discernment. Okay. Well, how do you discern that? Are you physically looking at them? How do you connect with them? That's me talking from a perspective of, I honestly, from my own experience with having the near-death experience, demons, have all these tricks in their bag. So I'm kind of wondering, are they placating you? Or are they trying to lure you in to talk to them and get them to the point where, okay, let's throw them a curveball? But that's my perspective of mind speak with just about anything and everything. But that's just me.
Now, have you you don't have to answer this question.
Okay.
But have you ever tried psilocybin mushrooms?
Nope. I try to stray away from anything that is mind-altering drugs. I'd rather just go through.
Okay.
And the worst thing I'm going to have on my plate is probably a over-caffeinated cup of coffee. That's about it.
Okay. Fair enough. Honestly, when it comes to that kind of stuff, if we're not called for it, it's not for us. But if I were to ever recommend anything to anybody, and I wouldn't call psilocybin I wouldn't necessarily put it in the category of a drug as much as it's an entheogenic, power plant that
all drugs are derived from some sort of plant-based. Plant-based. Everything that's out on the market was derived in some form or fashion from a plant-based. So, drug is a drug is a drug.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's the way I
look at it. Not everything is an entheogen. That's the big difference. And psychedelics are even much different than a hallucinogen. But I digress. Anyways. The only way that you can really get a feel for this, man, is to experience it. The only way to really get a feel for communicating with something or having a mind speak experience is to do it. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't encourage channeling the other side.
How do you know that you're talking to a Sasquatch?
Well, see, this is where, if we're going on, it's hard to give you sort of an empirical breakdown, right? Of like because I mean, you first of all, you kind of have to have a feel for, it's all about, it's in the experience. This is very hard to describe. It might just be, you have to go with your intuition. It might just be, it's very, very plain. I mean, if there was something else, I've never had an experience where I felt like I was communicating with something that had any malintent, malice, or evil behind it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that's like. I don't know if people have experiences with things that seem really, really nice and loving and caring, and it ends up being something evil. I don't know if that's a thing. But this was, you get a feel for it when you link up with something like that. You get a feel that sort of transcends what we would call physical observation or or something that we can, or at least now, have instruments to physically track and monitor. So I wish I could give you more details than that. The best thing I can say is get out there and try it. Because you will get a feel. You'll absolutely get a feel, and you go, okay, I don't know how to describe this either. Or maybe you do, you know?
Well, I'm looking from, from an alcoholic's point of view. I know how to get hooked. I've obviously done that with alcohol, and getting off of it was a
that's easy.
bitch.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking.
Yeah, that's and psilocybin is actually used to get people off addiction. You can't really. I think you'd be hard pressed to get addicted to that stuff. It's more like a teacher. It kind of cleans you out, but it's not necessary, of course. Mm-hmm. And by try it, I don't mean psilocybin necessarily. I just mean try. You just get out there and see if you can experience some telepathy.
Well, there you go. Well, I appreciate you, Jesse, from California, San Diego, California, for sharing that experience that you underwent. Or are you currently trying to still seek these contacts with Sasquatch?
No, I do have. I mean, to me, it makes sense to me why I had this experience. By the way, like I've had, just as far as my life goes, I've had a lot of things that it's not out of the ordinary for me that would happen to me. So I 100% believe that I will have future experiences, and I've actually, I've heard that these dogmen are using mind speak. So I am extremely curious as to what that experience is like, and I do not intend to go out in the woods and try to have a conversation. But I would absolutely love to have a rendezvous experience, a safe rendezvous experience, and see what that's like.
Well, I actually talked with a lady that got infrasound by one of these things, and it lured her outside of her own home while she was standing at the kitchen window on the phone with her friend. And her friend said she just stopped talking and she walked outside and already seen one of these things standing outside. And she got pushed into a fire pit that was dying down, and she got 2nd and 3rd degree burns on her left side of her body. I've seen those.
Now,
things.
How would infrasound affect someone to do that?
Don't know. That's what I delineated from it. It could be just about anything. We are subtle to, or how am I trying to say? Subject. Yeah, subject to some suggestions. So maybe she was prone to that. I don't know. Am I prone to that? Possibly, I guess. I don't know. But
do you meditate, Sean?
Do I meditate? I pray a lot. So if you call that meditation, yeah.
Do you? Well, meditation itself is a very specific exercise, almost like bench pressing or getting in the gym. And prayer. I mean, I've grown up with prayer. It's very, very different. But the reason why I ask is because if you, I found that it's an absolutely excellent tool. Meditation. It's nothing spiritual, it's nothing religious. You're not linking up with any, deities or anything like that. It's just a process of, you sit and you sort of give yourself some distance and space between your thoughts and emotions. I think that is an excellent tool when it comes to sort of preparing yourself to be in those kind of situations, or arming yourself for situations like that.
Yeah, I guess I don't see any harm in meditating whatsoever. But, yeah. But I appreciate you, Jesse, calling in and giving us that encounter there. That was an amazing encounter. But let's go on for the next caller and see what we can come up with. Appreciate you, Jesse, for calling in. Have a good one, sir. And there we go. Thank you, Jesse, again, for calling in for the show. Do you believe in mind speak? Do you believe in a cryptid calling in? Or cryptid. I'm getting another caller. It looks like we've talked to this fellow before, but looks like Chase the trucker. Where are you? Where's your dash pointed at today, Chase?
I'm headed north, Canton, Ohio.
Canton, Ohio. So you're a little bit northwest of me. So yeah. So
yeah. Right now I'm on 65. I think coming out of Alabama. I just got started. I got like 12 hours ago.
Oh, wow. So what's going on with you today? I'm gonna go ahead and turn on
not
the.
Too much.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this audio in the background to the camera so people can hear it. So we get another crazy thing. I didn't want to interrupt anybody that was actually telling a story that had nothing to do with cryptids. So there you go.
Yeah. yeah. That meditation, boy. You gotta be careful of that.
Well,
play floating around, messing with some demons.
Well, the meditation stuff, I don't see any reason why you couldn't meditate. You just got to make sure what you're doing is what you want to do. Are you influenced?
Well, yeah.
That's
I would
the key.
say, right. When I first started getting into all kinds of stuff and learning, I tried the mushroom thing, and I didn't have nothing crazy. I will say that you do feel like really connected to I went out in the woods and just took it with me and my buddy, and you do feel real connected to the earth, trees, nature. I will say that it was a decent, pleasant feeling, but there's just certain things that if you're not everybody is built or spiritually sound to do something like that. They could get influenced by demons or whatnot, And even when it comes to meditating, I tried meditating before I knew what it was. It's like anything. You try it before you even realize, or you study it first, and then you're good to go because you got an idea. But I did, and I tried the out-of-body experience with meditating. So you can meditate and focus on, there's the form of meditations I know of would be all right, hey, I'm mentally thinking about, hey, I want to succeed in my career, or today, these are the things I want to accomplish today. So I sit and I meditate on those things that I want to accomplish, and I speak those into existence. I think that's good to go. I don't see nothing wrong with that. But I think that if you start meditating to the point where you're working on pulling your body out of itself to explore or whatever, because that's a form of meditation. That also links into yoga and all kinds of stuff. But I don't know. I just think that everybody's not really built for it. I mean, if it's something you try or you're led to try, hey man, that's between you and your God. But
yeah, we all
I don't know, man.
Yeah, anything that you want to try, then you have your free will to do so. I'm not saying not do it. Just be careful what you ingest. Everything from aspirin to what you eat can affect you. Period. End the story. So some people are allergic to it. You never know. Absolutely. So you just be careful if you're going to ingest anything. I'm not saying not to take anything, but make sure you know exactly what you're ingesting.
Yeah, man. I mean, you might have somebody out there silly thinking that they're gonna go out there and find a mushroom in a cow patty and end up getting the angel of death. That ain't too fun.
Yeah. Don't go out there and chase mushrooms around and saying, "Well, I wonder what this thing tastes like." And the next thing you know, you're seeing the maker, mighty maker of us all.
Life or death experience, right?
Yeah, well, it'll be a death experience because you got to be careful when you touch those mushrooms. You never know what you're going to get and who the heck is. When it comes to these things and you're buying these mushrooms or whatever, buying whatever thing that you're going to ingest, how do you know really what you're ingesting? Are you getting a thing that they label as, hey, this is safe? Well, there's that one chance that it possibly not is safe. So that's just me from my perspective.
I'm right on board with you. I mean, what's that stuff, Asakawa or whatever, where people go off to the Amazon and they drink this stuff and
have that near death.
Run around butt naked.
Yeah, shoot, I used to know that name. And
Asakawa or something?
Yeah, it makes you terribly sick, and then you have this psychedelic trip that supposedly touches you and puts you in a near-death experience. And I'm like, well, no, no, not me. I've already had my near-death experience, and it cost me a leg to have it, and a lot of arguing with God to bring me back. So I'm not going to try to jump back into that near-death experience. Next time I'm going to have a death experience, I'll have it for real and not have to argue to come back.
I know that's right. Man, I can't believe people pay thousands of dollars to go run around and get lost in Amazon.
Yeah, well, that's their.
Yes.
That's our own freedom of choice there.
Absolutely. Now, I will say this. I'm not hating on, a lot of the people like that do that, but the reality is, like, not everybody's built for that, and a lot of those times, those mentality of people, they paint this beautiful picture, you know what I'm saying, and then people go do it. Like, but some of the nicest, coolest people I've ever met, they do DMT, they trip, and that's their choice, and they, like, that led them to the connection of spirituality or whatever it was, so I'm not knocking them. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like,
well, you got all these people
telling certain people that it's okay.
Yeah, you got all these people that's in shamanism. They ingest and smoke, roots and herbs and all that stuff, and they swear by it. But I'm not a shaman. I've never practiced it. Do you meditate? Sure, why not? Meditation doesn't sound all that bad to me. Kind of make one with the God Almighty. I don't have any problems with that. But the influence part is what I was trying to get over with the last caller. But hey, that's what we're here for, is to seek. We're chasing the truth and figuring out what people seem to think is truth. So Jesse shared his.
I'm gonna try to stay on topic a little bit and not get off to the left field, because I'll be doing that. But I was listening to Dragon Z.
Oh yeah, that boy's got a million.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Got some good stuff.
I don't know if I would want to see these little girls and boy phantoms. I guess you call them phantoms, or whatever he's seeing. Have I seen something similar? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I actually did some rebuking before I got on the air today. After I did man. I felt a weird presence. Well, this old house, after I've done the prayer with Miss T, as I usually do, to bless this transmission, this show in the house, and I go through and I'm getting my usual cup of coffee before I get on air, and I smell this weird smell. I'm like, well, that's something new. So I was like, then I was like, wow, all right, it's time to rebuke. As soon as I get that feeling, I don't want to have anything to do with that stuff.
What did it smell like?
Putrid. Not like a
sulfur putrid, like a rotten fart?
No, well, if it was a rotten fart, it was from me. But other than that, it smelled just putrid. It wasn't anything that I wanted anything to do with, and it wasn't my garbage. That's for sure.
What do you think about this, John? So when these certain people, all right, so you hear time and time again, Dogman experience, Bigfoot experiences, you always hear, not always, and I'm not saying that they all do this, but there is a lot of situations where you'll hear them talk about a sulfur rotten egg, smell like wet dog, smell like garbage, like pure feces. Do you think that these beings are stepping into like, that's why you can't see them? They'll be right around you, whatever. Do you think that they're stepping into another realm by whatever means they have? A, are they cloaking with the type of fur they have, or B, are they actually stepping into a different realm? And when that realm is open, that's just a stink. Like, that realm stinks. Like, a lot of demons, things that come out of these these realms and these portals.
Right.
There's always a smell associated to it. What do you think about that?
Well, there's a possibility. You gotta think about. There's those brown mountain lights. What are those? They don't really know. Spirits of the woods, demons. DDoS even said that he had tried to research a report of a demonic dog man that he had a report about, and had his pus-filled smell like sulfur. That kind of deal. And this I talked to him about this probably about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, 2.5, 3 years. Look what's on the camera there, folks. What is that? What's that? Is that eyes? What's that on the camera, folks? Just I don't know what it is.
Top right?
No, right in the middle. It may be a small animal. Looks like coming toward the camera.
Low on the ground.
Low on the ground next to the fire pit, on the other side of the fire pit. Mm-hmm. Maybe a cat or a squirrel, possibly, but it's got two eyes.
Possum, maybe.
Maybe, and it's gone. What the hell was that? Well, that could have been very easily an animal for sure. Just that's one of those false positive alarms
Sean,
there.
That howl, man. Let's just talk about that howl for a second, dude. I was listening to this, and we hear that howl, and right when we heard the howl, I see in the middle of the screen, I saw a flash. And I told Lakea I seen that, and it's weird, because when you look at it, you'll see bugs shoot across, or little bugs, they'll shoot across the screen real fast, and it's fast. But it was weird. After that first howl, I literally saw a flash of something run across, and then you hear another howl. Now this is just what I put together possibly, but you hear that other sound coming from the other direction in that way. And I'm not saying that that's what it was, but I just saw a flash, and I'm like, dude, that's weird. That was quick. It was just hard to see, but it was just a quick flash right after that first howl. And then you hear Dark Waters, oh, hell no, that kind of stuff. So it was pretty funny. That dude cracked me up. Yo, I let my wife hear that. My wife was dying, boy. She started laughing so hard. She's like, that man is wild. I said, I know.
Well, there you go. Looks like Walter Lakea turned on the back porch light or the floodlight or whatever to see what was that thing. Sort of looked like a cat. It could have been some sort of small four-legged creature for sure. I think it was maybe a little too small because it got right next to the fire pit on the other side of the fire pit. But,
maybe it was that bobcat everybody said it was.
I don't know. That looked a little too small for a bobcat, but the bobcats I've seen were a whole lot bigger. It's about a medium-sized dog as bobcats I've seen are bigger.
All right, hey, so real quick, because I keep getting sidetracked. Dragon Z, right?
Yeah.
When you were saying that, it flicked a memory I had. I dated this Puerto Rican lady, and she was older. Man, I was young. I did the cougar chasing thing, and when I was younger, and I think I was 24, and she was 38, and it was weird. She already had grown daughters, so I had to say that because to give an example, she had grown daughters, and one of them, I remember it was really weird because I remember when I first met them. They were just, any type of, whether it's Puerto Rican or Spanish family, they're very loving and caring, cooking and all that. But I noticed one of her daughters kept looking behind me. It was kind of odd. And later on, after I got to know them, her mother told me that her one daughter has a gift, and she's able to see. And I'm wondering if anybody else has ever known somebody or experienced this, or maybe they see this themselves, but she would see whatever, if you had guardians that would watch over you, she could see them, and she could also see dark entities. If you were followed or had a dark entity with you, she could see it. And the way it's described it was it's almost like you couldn't see details and stuff, but it was like an orb, but in the figure of a being, sort of, and she said that I had really good, strong, very strong protectors, and she said I had 7 of them, and they were very, very bright. She was saying the brighter they are, the more stronger they are, and which was quite interesting. After that incident, that's when I had almost died on that motorcycle, and then that flash of light had happened and put me on 2 wheels, and it was just weird. I really, after that moment that happened, I believed it. From then I'm like, okay, this is the real deal. And she would tell me, because one of her son is autistic, and her son she said he had 12 very strong light protectors that always watched over him. And she could just tell you, but she didn't talk about it. It was not something she ever, me and her I never talked to her daughter about it, because she made it very clear it's just something she doesn't talk about, and she's very, but she'll talk to family about it, and I just thought that was really interesting. It just popped in my mind whenever I heard him talk about that.
All right. Wow. Well, the thing that he's Dragon ZW, seeing these things follow along kids and playgrounds and stuff. These shadow people, beings, entities, whatever you want to call them. That just creeps me the hell out.
Yeah. Do you think possibly that these are maybe demonic demons or beings that have targeted that child due to the sins of their father? And they're following them, waiting for a time?
Possibly. You'd have to, I'd have to sit myself and do some prayers, or, get that to instant knowledge that God every once in a while gifts me with. But, I'm not saying I get it every time I have any kind of psychic whatever, and I honestly couldn't tell you one way or other. But, anything has to do with children, you have to imagine, God loves children. They're innocent. Obviously, you think that they'd have some sort of guardian angel with them as they go along life until they get to the age of where they know right from wrong. But, does that cover every aspect of every story, especially with Dragon ZW's these things following kids along as he's seen them? I don't know. That's the judgment. That's what we're chasing the truth about. What do you believe? I may not believe everything that people, when they call in and say, hey, I've seen this or that, or shot this with that. I may not believe every story that comes and goes as, with this chasing the truth open line stuff. But I kind of get a gut feeling that that's not a good thing. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know when we moved, my house I moved from in Jacksonville, so when we first moved in, my wife started complaining about the bathroom door was always open, and she's like, I know I shut it, and it would always be open. And then that's when I started having, like, the sleep paralysis from time to time in that house. And I remember I was sitting there one day, this is the final straw, I snapped on it, because I was sitting there on the couch, and I just, the ball pit balls, those little, like, ball pit type balls, I'm watching it come, just nothing going on, no fan, no nothing, and I watched it come out from under the playpen, and it just started doing a circle until it did a circle, it kept circling until it got smaller and smaller, and it just stopped right in the middle of the floor. And I'm sitting there watching this, and I go, I know you didn't. Like, I just started praying and casting it out, and then I was mad, boy. And after that, it kind of settled down for a while. And I thought that was just crazy. And I would see my son. I watched my son. He'll be in the room, and he'll come and he'll just be standing, looking in the dark bathroom. Door be open. He'd just be looking in the bathroom, and I'd be like, "Yo, Braden, what you looking at?" And he would look at me, and then look back at it. And I would walk over there. As soon as I come near him, he'd just walk off like nothing's going on. And I'd be like, "Yo, don't be messing with my boy." Like, so that was weird.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
so
I'm gonna let another caller come on.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, Chase. As usual, you always have some interesting stories and ways of thinking that I usually don't even think about, but there you go. Appreciate you calling in, brother.
Appreciate it.
Anytime you want to call in.
Man. Good talking to you.
All right. See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That was Chase the trucker. He's up in Ohio. His dashboard's pointed toward Ohio anyway. All right, folks. Let's make sure everybody can hear the sounds like the old hag, Dragon CW says. Possibly. But we're looking at the live Dogmancam feed from Vault number 1 in the back of Vault's yard, Vault of Nightmares. And looked like we saw a cat just a minute ago. But this is open lines 931-994-6917. 931-994-6917 is the call-in. We don't have to really talk about the Dogman stuff. Looked like something fell from the sky there. But, yeah. Let's see. Let me see what I got going on in here. Let's go over here to... Alright. Let me see what I got up here. This one is... let me turn the audio off while we're doing this. We'll play that audio that Dark Waters caught live last night. I think I caught maybe a cat or a small four-legged vermin walking around there. But let's go over here and see what we got here. This is at 1:12. Okay, this is the very first time that we heard the howl last night. So here we go. Looks like we got a caller. Hold on just a second. Let's give this caller a chance to call in. All right, caller, give me just a second, get you live on the air, and then we'll get you talking here in just a second. And caller, what's your name and where are you from?
Hey, man, my name is Oda. I'm calling from Maryland.
Your name is what? I'm sorry?
Oda, O-D-A. Oda.
Oda. Okay, Oda.
Yeah, it's a different name, yeah. I'm from Brazil, by the way.
Oh, great. So down there where the UFOs and stuff are.
Well, a lot of weird things going on in there.
Oh, yeah. So what
kind
of story you got?
I've been living in Maryland. I've been living in Maryland for a while, and this, I don't know what you guys call it, shadow person or something. Way back in, I think it was in 2005, my son was still a toddler, and we were living in an apartment here in Savage, Maryland. And I woke up one night, I don't know what time it was the wee hours in the morning, and it was this person. I thought it was a person standing on my the threshold of our bedroom door. At the time, we used to sleep with our bedroom door open and my son's bedroom door open, and with a very faint light on the hall. And you know, when you wake up out of a dead sleep, but you're not drowsy, you're just like all of a sudden really awake.
Right.
So yeah, I put my head up off the bed, and there's this person standing on the door, facing my wife and I. So I thought somebody broke into our apartment.
Okay.
I jumped over my wife and landed on the other side of the bed, going towards the door. I thought, okay, this is fighting time. Somebody broke into my apartment. It's time to do something. But as soon as I hit the floor on the, nothing there, just poof, gone. I cleared the apartment, so to speak, went from room to room, closet to closet, checked all the doors. The front door was closed. The patio door was closed. I was on the third floor, by the way. So unless Spider-Man broke into my apartment, I think
you couldn't find you couldn't find what was making noise in your apartment.
No, there was no noise. It was completely silent to me. I woke up out of a dead sleep, and there's this quote unquote person standing on the standing on the
was
door.
It more of a
right at the door.
Could you make the distinguishing facial features out of it, or was it just a completely dark silhouette of a person?
Oh, it was just a silhouette, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it startled me pretty bad. I mean, I swear I thought somebody broke into my apartment. That's how I reacted. I said, somebody broke into my house. It's time to fight. So, I never heard the term shadow person until a few years ago, So, I don't know. After a while, I thought maybe a ghost or something. Because Savage is a very old town, going from all the way back to, I don't know, 1800, something like that.
So what do you think that shadow creature thing that appeared in your house was? Do you think it was a alien? Was it a demon? Or was it something, a ghost of something?
No idea, Sean. I mean, I don't really know. I have no idea what these things are. I mean, we have a Christian beliefs and stuff, but it's like it's hard to name something that is unseen or you can't touch it. You can't really put your finger on it. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
So did you smell anything weird or during this encounter with this shadow person, creature, entity?
Not at the time. At the time I was concerned about my wife's and my son's safety, and it never even came to my mind that it could have been something supernatural or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
All I thought at the moment was somebody done breaking into my apartment.
How long ago was this?
Close the door to kitchen.
How long ago was this encounter?
2005, 2006-ish, somewhere around there. My son was still a toddler at the time.
Oh, did he have any, well, this is, it may be too personal, but did he have any invisible playmates?
No, not that I know.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Have you seen anything like that since?
Not like that per se, but we always catch some kind of shadowy things darting back and forth on the corner of the eyes. I don't know if it's when you look facing movement, there's nothing there anymore. But every now and then we catch some. When I say we, I'm talking about myself. I mean, my wife, she doesn't talk about these things.
Oh yeah. Have you ever come across anybody that you witnessed something supernatural, paranormal with, and they actually reacted to it, but after the fact they kind of say, no, I don't want to talk about it, or I just didn't see it at all?
I don't know. I mean, people, it's kind of hard for people to talk about these things. Even me now calling in, I thought about calling for a very long time, and I don't know if you can notice, but I'm kind of nervous talking. I don't like talking about these things. It's just that it feels kind of weird, like I don't want to be
like if you talk about it, it'll attract the thing back.
Yeah, well, lots of I don't know, sleep paralysis maybe, waking up with some heavy sweat, a few times where I'm completely drenched in sweat.
Well,
things like this, I don't know, perhaps I've been attracting too many bad things throughout my life.
I spent the best part of my career in medical field studying sleep professionally. Sleep apnea, sleepwalking, you name it, seizures in sleep. And it seems to me that, when you start talking about, well, I woke up and I saw this thing, that is a cop-out once you start saying, well, it was sleep paralysis. Or, it's kind of like a cop-out. There's, we don't know why we dream. We don't know why we sleep. We know some chemical processes that happen, whether we use it or use the chemicals that we create in our brain and our body, or we, manufacture it. We know some of it, but we just don't know everything. I think that our side that can touch the other side wakes up while we're sleeping. That's part of my philosophy, definitely. So,
I don't disagree with you. I mean, we can definitely. I mean, I can definitely feel something, of the dream sort of touching me. When I wake, I can feel something. I had some weird dreams not long ago. Something slapped one of my hands, and when I wake up, that hand was sort of traveling through the air, and I could feel the sting of a slap on a hand for quite a while afterwards.
It's like Dragon ZW waking up with those marks on his arm that I showed a picture of earlier in the show.
Yeah. I remember the dream very well. For whatever reason, right? I was walking through a wooded area. I happened to have a spear in my hand, so go figure, right? And I come into like a clearing, and there's these three things sort of facing each other in a circle. And I stand there and I'm looking at them, not close, but not very far. And the one with the back towards me just turns, look at me, and charges me. As it is charging me, I kind of take a fighting position with my left hand holding the spear towards it, and the right hand, ready to thrust.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing had huge long arms, like I would say like a skinny gorilla without any hair on it,
Mm-hmm.
really long arms,
Right.
as if it was standing, and really stubby legs and super long arms. So it was standing with the arms on the ground. So he kind of slapped that spear out of my hand, and I felt this sting on my left hand. When I woke up from the slap, I had that stinging sensation on my left hand for quite a bit. Yep.
So where were you
weird things like this?
Where were you located in the dream that you had this encounter with a spear in your hand and this thing lunging at you?
I'm not sure, man. Some wooded area, no idea. I mean, it was, yeah.
Well,
no specific place, just like I'm looking at the camera now from the Dogmancams and stuff I'm watching. Sort of resembles a clearing like this when I came into a clearing.
Right.
But for whatever reason, in my dream, I was walking into through the woods or something. So I don't know if anybody ever seen something like this, right? You really, picture a hairless gorilla, really long arms.
Have you ever had anybody come in and bless your home, or anything of that nature? Or
no.
You try to rebuke anything in your presence from this, having these encounters, or these weird dreams?
No, not really.
Not really? Okay.
No, not really. No. Yeah. I don't know if it's important or not, but one of my biological father, he's one of these people that do readings and seances and stuff, and every now and then he says, "Oh, I'm praying for you." So I don't know if he's praying for me, these things are happening as he's praying for me. I mean, I don't like to think about those things, but
Oh. Well, that was an interesting story there, Oda. I appreciate you calling in, brother. And anytime you want to call in with another story, you're more than welcome to call in.
Yep. I hope I wasn't too difficult to understand.
No, you're perfect English, I heard. You speak it better than I do. So
Don't
thank you for calling.
That, but
no I have trouble with English myself, and that's what I'm supposed to be speaking. But thank you so much for calling in, and let's go to the next caller. Appreciate you.
Hey.
All right, Unscreened caller, you are on the air. What's your name and where you're from?
Oh, okay. Wow, you got right to me. This is Mike from Green Pond.
What's your name again? I'm sorry. You kind of broke up.
I'm sorry. This is Mike from Green Pond.
Mike from Green Pond. Okay. What's on your mind there, brother?
Yeah, I texted you a little while ago. You might not have seen it. I agree with you 100% about not trusting things that mind speak to you. Because, it could be, demons taking advantage or something. The Bible says, to test the spirits and all.
Well, me personally, I've spoke with several people that are mediums and had them on the show. And I've always asked them, well, how do you know that who you're talking to is their uncle, their aunt, or whoever, somebody close to you? How do you know it's not a demon that's, placating you, creating this scenario to get you a little closer to talk to you? the discernment thing, I think everybody with mediumships say that. Well, we discern it. Okay, well, how do you discern it? And it's like, do you have a caller ID on the other end? I don't think so, but, that's just me personally looking at it from a perspective of actually meeting the devil in my near-death experience and knowing how cunning and how hateful and spiteful and how much patience this entity has. They'll wait till the sun burns out sometimes if they get what they want. That's just me from my personal experience, my belief. But, God blesses you with all kinds of gifts, and some people do have that gift of mediumship. And I'm not saying anything against anybody that I've had on my show before, but that's one big question that I haven't really had anybody really just logically or, say something that says, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right, now I get what you're talking about. But, the discernment thing is just like with people that dream about ghosts or wake up and see ghosts in the middle of the night. The people that study sleep and, or sleepwalking and all that kind of stuff say that's just your dream intruding on your wakefulness. I think that's pretty much cop-out because you're just guessing. Saying that, you have no proof. So I think that's a big cop-out when you say that kind of thing. It's just your dream, or sleep paralysis or whatever. Does it happen that way? Sure, absolutely. But you can't say that 100% every freaking time. But that's just me.
I've had, back in the past, me and my wife used to listen to a lot of ghost stories and stuff, and it seemed like we had some activity at the trailer during that time. And I've even had like a female voice in my bedroom calling out my name, Mike. It sounded like she said, and I didn't answer her because I don't know if it's right to talk back to him or not, but I will start praying out loud to the Lord, and, be like, I don't know who that was talking to me, but I mean, ain't no spirit got anything to tell me, I can just trust you to tell me. I don't need a spirit's help, I mean, of course, he's a spirit too, though. But we've, in the past, I've had a little bit of activity at the trailer, even when I wasn't watching ghost stories or anything on YouTube or whatever. My first wife passed on when she was 27, and I was a night owl. I'd work on a car till like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then come in, try to get some sleep. I had to be at work at 8, and I'd crawl under the bed. It was up on cap locks, and I could crawl under it, and I'd just go, and flop my arm over on her, and she'd be like, Mike, go to bed. And I couldn't scare her, but after she died one night, I woke up to something yanking my arm off the side of the bed, and it was still yanking when I woke up, and I had to snatch it and I said, well, just pull me off the bed then. And then it stopped, and I was like, whoa. I got up and turned all the lights on the trailer, and I eventually went back to something I didn't know, but I'm blonde. About maybe 10 years later, I was like, oh, that might have been Jenny. She was messing with me, I guess in a roundabout way she was with me till I married my the wife I have now, Melvina. And during the day she married me, before she married me, she was getting ready and everything, and she kind of went into a trance. It's like she's never been inside a trailer before, but it's like she went inside a trailer, and she seen Jenny there rocking in a rocking chair. We didn't have a rocking chair, and her hair was over her face, and she just rocking back and forth. And then she looks up at her and says, "It's all right." And I guess that was the message, that it's okay for her to bury me. You know, I mean, they had gotten a fight over me before when me and Jenny kind of sort of broke up. We was working on getting back together, and I was invited to a Christmas party, and she's going to come there, and Melvina was already there. She's younger, and she's wanting to talk to me, and I thought she was out of my league. You know, people tell me, "Hey, Melvina's here, and she wants to talk to you." I was like, "Yeah, right," you know, and come find out it was true. But Jenny believed it, and she hit her with some brass knuckles after I left. Well, slapped her sideways with them. So Melvina was kind of afraid to get with me a little bit, and Jenny made her feel better about it. You know, she's okay with it. I guess Melvina needed that. But this lady I'm married to now is Cherokee, Blackfoot, and what is that, Irish? And
oh man, she's probably seen some things, so I would dare say.
She's spooky. My favorite song for her is "Spooky" by ARS, Atlanta Rhythm Section. And she's a spooky gal. She's a Christian, but she gets these premonitions, and I hate it when she gets them. First one she got was while we was dating. She seen me wreck my Ford truck, and yeah, I was coming home, and I've been driving, and I had two other trucks going, and I've been driving them. I figured I'd drive my 77 with the 302 in it, you know, and it sounded so sweet that day. And I wasn't doing but 45 or 50 in a 45. I probably was doing closer to 45. Right at Tannehill, a car pulled out in front of me, and I hit my brakes hard, and I said, "I'm going to whoop around them in the turn lane." And they didn't get in the turn lane, but they turned right in front of me, and I T-boned them. And it really didn't hurt him. It messed the guy's arm up a little bit, and his wife got seatbelt damage. I didn't mean to do it, you know. And they kept going and went through that fence at Tannehill at the entrance right there and went off the embankment. And I was the first one down there, and he didn't see me or anything. Thank God I had a witness, but she seen it, and she didn't warn me about it. She seen it a week or two before it happened. And
oh wow.
Yeah, and then she started having all kind of premonitions. And when I started working at the abandoned number 3 mines in Adger, for my security company I work for now, she seen this back in '99 when it happened. I guess because I was going to have something to do with it. And I made friends out there and all, and I've seen 2 cryptids out there, and it literally freaked me out, you know. But she seen why the mine shut down, and all. I mean, and like I said, I made friends out there, and lady named Carol, she just kept on saying, "I heard a guard came up missing out here." And another feller, he figured he'd look it up finally, and he dug deep into Google. I never could find it, but maybe it's because I didn't click on any PFDs or something. I don't know, but and he also talked to a miner who used to work out there that was was there the day or night it happened. But there was 2 miners, and the guard came up missing. And a D10 dozer disappeared, and so did an excavator. And I don't know if I should tell you her premonition she got about it. I told her what Kristen said, not Kristen, Russell. Mm-hmm. And she said she remembered getting a premonition about that, and she tried to remember it. And I'm talking about she's on the couch with her eyes closed, and she was making all kind of noises. And I didn't know she's having a heart attack, and I need to call the paramedics or what was going on. And she was having a vision, and it was disturbing her. And she told me what happened, but I don't know if I need to share that with you. I tried to share it with Vault. I don't know if I forget. We keep on, when I talked to him, we kept on taking rabbit turns, off, getting on different subjects and not getting back on them.
Right.
The others, and and then he'd have to go. He's a busy person, but anyway, Russell actually got stuck out there at the dry lake, and I went out there to check on him, and I kind of found out that his wheel had gone off in a he's stuck on the frame, his wheel was hanging, and what he was stuck on, it reminded me of a vault that you buried in, the top of it. Okay. It was a straight edge. It was like a straight edge, and but yet there was underneath it, there was darkness, like the dirt was pushed away from it. And I was like, what in the world is that doing out here? And right there is where they found some bones where they drained the lake of a feller, and you get weird radio interference right there. But I got an idea. I got online and started looking at D10 dozers and studying their tops. Them dozers have sure enough roofs on them that will withstand turnovers. I mean, one went down a mountain tumbling one time, and the driver died. The operator died, but it's because of seatbelt damage being thrown around like a rag doll, but he never was crushed. And I looked for an overhang, and they have an overhang, and I want to go back there if I can. I got replaced by a gate, and so I don't guess there's any. Yeah, a gate. But you think they would have thought of that sooner, but thank God, at least I got to work sometime out there. About 3 years, I drove the security vehicle. I didn't have to drive my own, But I like to go back there and stick a magnet to that thing if I can find it and see if it's metal. I bet that's the D10 dozer right there.
It could be.
But what it was she seen in her premonition was she was in the guard's vehicle on the passenger side. She don't know if it's daylight or dark. That's the crazy thing. She don't know what kind of vehicle it was. She's just seeing from the passenger side, and he just left there and they called him back. And it was some sort of piece of rock. She said the top of it was shaped like an onion and it was glowing. And some weird things happened, but when he got there, it's like some creatures started rushing down on each side, military style. It's kind of darker, brownish. She couldn't tell it's Bigfoot, Doll Man. She didn't know what it was. But they, the bulldozer operator got inside the bulldozer, and he locked the door, and the guard couldn't get in. And the guard fired upon him. And she said she saw him. They was gathered around him. All she knew is blood was splattering. Some even got on the blade of the bulldozer. But there was some other crazy stuff about how the two miners disappeared and the dozer disappeared. She didn't say anything about the excavator, although it came up missing too. But yeah, I worked out there 3 years, and I seen two cryptids. I was downhill listening to talk radio with a new battery in the Jeep, and so I wasn't jamming. You don't jam to talk radio, you don't crank the volume up.
Right.
And I seen something running along the ridge line. I mean, I had to do a double take. I was like, what? And I looked again and I seen it. And it ran behind a clump of trees. And I couldn't find out. I better crank or I may have previously. Before that, I forget the timeline on that, but after 20 minutes, the battery was dead. Brand new battery for Walmart. I told them get one from Napa, And Walmart batteries ain't no good. They go bad if you look at them sideways. But
well, they got
anyway,
mass production. They got to give you a cheap price. So what do? Slap. Hey, we'll give you extra long life in this battery. Slap it on the side, and you believe it and buy it at a cheaper price, and then find out, well, it's not exactly as long as you think.
I got me a deck of batteries. I'm sorry.
I think I just lost every Walmart commercial that I could possibly ever have in the future.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. No big deal. That's part of it. That's just part of it. I don't expect to ever have a commercial from Walmart being on my show, but you never know. I think I just decreased my chances of having that, but there you go.
Well, I got me a deck of batteries from East Penn Manufacturing. That's supposed to be real good. I got 3 of them now. I don't know. People say they're good, and I'm going to find out, I guess, There's one in my wife's car, one in this truck, and one in my Ford F-150 that I'm trying to get going. I got me 75 I'm trying to build up. But I had to sit out there a long time before somebody came out there and jumped me off. And it was kind of creepy. I mean, I even seen what looked like some gray wolves, like a bigger one, and some smaller ones go up in that clump of trees where I seen that cryptid. But it looked tall. It looked like a 7-foot tall man in a wetsuit, solid black wetsuit, running, jogging. I mean, he had his hands out in front, like you do, like the average jogger jogs. He was jogging like that.
So was it? Did the black suit look like it was wet?
Oh, I couldn't tell that. I mean, it might have had fur on it for all I care. I mean, not for all I care, for all I know. It was like, I got why I didn't wear my glasses. I could see good enough to drive, but I didn't have them on that day. It was about 75 yards away from me. But I mean, I'm just saying, either that was the dude with big feet. I couldn't tell if it had a snout or not, or it was somebody in a wetsuit running, and it make more sense that it was the one with big feet to me, I mean, but I had another experience, the only interaction I ever had with him was I went to sleep out there, and I woke up to something going, and I woke up and it was still going on, and I opened my eyes, and I just looked around with my eyes to start off with. I didn't see nothing else. Started turning my head, nothing at all. But I was down the hill from where I was supposed to watch, but I was right there at the entry road. I was trying to see if some of my friends would ride by. I used to run them off, and them side-by-sides and all that. And then I was like, well, as long as you're not up on top of the hill messing with the equipment, I mean, I'm good with y'all riding out here. And I became known as the cool guard, and I started making some friends out there, which helped me a lot when I ran out of gas one day when the needle was messed up. But one day I was up the hill and it was raining slightly. I was already looking right there at the point where the road curves around, and I seen something like it was, like it had been running, and it slammed on its brakes real quick, and its front end from the waist up slung forward, and it pulled itself back. And I was like, huh? I started praying, God, is my eyes deceiving me, or did I see something? And probably just less than a minute later, that thing just took off. I'm talking about, it was raining, but its hair was flying. It flew backwards. It took off in a blur. It was red, it didn't seem like it was real tall. I mean, maybe 6 foot. But
you got these big, myriad of measurements that these creatures supposedly have. You got to think, well, if they're real flesh and blood, they have to have youth among them. So you have shorter versions of them for sure.
Yeah, I imagine they had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
We all did, huh? Oh, I thought you was going to say something.
Nope. I wasn't.
But anyway, I'm sorry. That happened a lot with Vault. I'd start to talk, he'd start to talk, and we kept on interrupting one another. Sorry about that. But,
that's all right. Continuing with your story there, buddy.
Okay, I appreciate it. Another friend, Christian, he recorded. Well, he took pictures and made a video of him walking and recording 3-toe footprints out there in the bottoms, which, down below the bottoms where the dry lake is, where I think some activity happened. But it was 3-toe footprints, and he actually had a flat and had to change it right there in the bottoms where you go up the hill, and he kept on hearing something in the bushes not far from him, like it was going, woof, woof, kind of like that, kind of low, and like it's trying to run him off. And others have been seeing red eyes down towards the dry lake. And this one feller that had a brand new 4-wheeler, I think his name is Tyler. He they might kill me for mentioning names, but anyway, he thought he saw a tree, and when he passed it, it got after him, and he wound up getting him something where he could sure enough go, one of them Honda racing 450 CFs, I think, or CF 450s, and my nephew's got one of those. I mean, that thing will come, if you don't let out on the clutch just right and do the gas just right, that thing will shoot straight up from under you.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, man, you need to get off that thing, tip your hat to it, and say, sir, before you get on it. And that thing would go. It was a older model, but still, it would boogity. And he wound up messing his arm up and wanting to sell it to me cheap. But I don't need nothing like that. I barely can get around as it is. I don't need to be thrown around. But, it motivated him to get that, is what I'm saying. And a few other people seen something with red eyes and a snout. They went by me in a dune buggy, and then they turned around because they saw that. And people were starting to get scared and not come out there, but then they start coming out there in groups again, sometimes 10, 15, 20 side-by-sides and stuff and all kind of lights on them, which I recommend they do that anyway and stuff, But, I was scared out there for a while. They told me, that it's going to be dark out there, but I got used to it. And I started talking to whatever's out there, and I think they was friendly towards me. But I would see little things that would run by me, and one ran 5 foot from my window was just rolled down. But I seen a lot of these, whatever they are. It's like, and maybe it was a trick of my eyes, I don't know. But they would run by, and you could tell the body was a little bit wider, but their middle part, like their skeleton and all that, real thin, like a thin line in the middle that you could see halfway through. You could see that, and it was real tall. I don't know what them things were. I was wanting to ask Vault if he ever came across something like that, but I never got a chance to ask him.
Well, if he's listening, maybe he'll post something in the chat about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe he has experienced something like that. You know, but them mines out there are kind of weird. You know, I know I had an incident out there one time where I thought, you know, I was going to have a struggle with a fella out there. And pretty much, you know, my 44 Magnum got stolen. I ain't going to tell you, you know, how. But like I said, I'm blind. But anyway, I got it back. But I got it back from the brother of the one that I guess stole it. I don't know. But this guy found out that I had it back, you know, and he's wanting me to pay some money to get it back, you know, like he found it or something. But, you know, I was telling them, you know, that he was starting to come out there, you know, and mess around. And then when I heard his truck coming, I was like, I think that's him coming, you know, and I started hearing howls and stuff. That's crazy. Maybe it's going to happen anyway. But I started hearing distant howls and stuff, you know, and I would hear all kind of noises out there. But like I said, nothing ever messed with me. Mm-hmm. I've had some other encounters closer to home. I've seen one out of the side of my eye, you know, like them swamp creatures. If you ever used to watch that cartoon, read that cartoon, Phantom by David Falk.
Yeah.
How you remember the swamp creatures that were really people dressed up in costumes and stuff and all? You remember how they looked?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this looked exactly like that. And when I actually turned to look at it, it was gone. But it was down in the swamp where I just came from, you know, that swamp coming off that lake, and I was going up a hill, and you could see the swamp down below. And my wife's cousin actually had a sighting down there. We walked down there because there's supposed to be some military stuff that's up on a pedestal, like hill. It's planes, and it's got big old holes in them, like where big bullets went in or whatever, and jeeps and all that. I was wanting to find that. He thought he knew where they was, and we was messing around out there. And then he got where, you know, he was like, Mike, let's go. And I was like, hold on, man, I'm looking around here. I mean, ain't nothing going to hurt you. And he took off and left me. And I walked out of there, and towards the end of the road, here he comes back, hollering for me. I don't answer, you know, and until he runs up on me, you know. Then I crawl him about, you know, abandoning me like that. You know, he thought there was some sort of danger. And I finally got it out of him. He's seen a male Bigfoot when he's younger, and he had a kid with him, a small, young Bigfoot, and I guess he got a feeling or something, you know, and it really messed with him. I know it didn't take long for him to walk that stretch of paved road that went by that area when my wife and his wife broke down in her truck, and he had to come get me. I don't know why they didn't call me, or their cell phone wasn't working or something, but it didn't take long for him to walk that. I mean, he was scared, but he did it, you know, and he just left them out there in that dangerous area, you know, by the Twin Lakes out there. But my mind's going blank. You know, I want to kind of tell you some tales and stuff and all, you know, but I'm kind of running dry right now, you know, so I probably need to get off here and let another caller get on here.
Ah, well, if that's what you want to do, go right ahead, bud. But I enjoyed talking to you about especially your wife and her premonitions. You know, I've had one special lady in my life, Misty. Anything that she says, my gut tells me that, I pay attention to, and I usually don't pay attention to people saying, "Hey, I've got this premonition." But yeah. So, you know, it's one of those things. Now, that we've had all kinds of discussions that, hey, your gut's wrong and I'm right, or vice versa, but that's usually during an exchange of ideas. But, yeah, if she says, hey, I believe this is going to happen, I take note of it and say, okay, I'll pay attention. So I guess that's what you got in your... I think that's what you got in with your current wife.
You know, you stimulate my mind just now, you know, on that right there. I don't get much premonition. I mean, I'll walk over a snake. I have, you know, and it's like the Lord takes care of fools, you know, and I don't know, he takes care of me.
I'm an example of that. The Lord does take care of fools. So, absolutely.
Yes, sir. You know, the only thing is when my dad was alive, you know, and he thought they was premonitions, but it's just the way the birds was chirping outside or something. But he'd be like, not all the time, but every now and then he'd be like, "Mike, I got a bad feeling, and you need to be careful today." And pretty much he jinxed my whole day because, you know, I'd be paranoid about anything, even if I went out in the woods. But what my wife would say, if you don't pray about it, it's going to happen. You can pray about it, you can take precautions, and it don't happen or it happens differently. But I definitely need to pay attention to her and respect her premonitions. Although I don't like them, it's like we prayed before about, you know, the Alabama white thing's been seen out there. I don't know if you're familiar with the Alabama white thing.
Alabama white thing. I don't believe I've heard that.
Yeah, well, it's THANG, thing.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I've seen something white out there that then I never could decipher a head, but it's walking on all fours. I've seen it several times. One time it stopped and I got near it, but when I stopped and I was going to speak to it, it went on in the bushes. But she seen something jumping out of the bushes right there at the yellow gate that I used to kind of close to kind of route people to keep them from coming that way, but they found another way around. I just quit messing with them, like I said. But she seen it. It had a good set of teeth, like a double row of teeth. It was kind of wide. It growled and jumped out at me. And she, when she came out there, she identified the gate and stuff, you know, and she's been out there several times. And then one time she actually got lost out there and then tried to turn around on a road that had some ditches washed down on each side. She got sideways there. You know, I had to call some friends in for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but she actually, there's been some things that made a real pretty sound out there too, and I'm not sure what it was. I wonder if it was Bigfoot or not. And one time she stayed out there with me and heard it, you know, and she got kind of scared out there, not because of that though, because of the activity that was going on. That's when I was trying to keep people from coming out there at all, because I thought I had to. And if people fake me off, huh?
I said, oh yeah, you want to keep people safe.
What happened was a truck started to come in, and he done it the night before, and so I already had the Jeep ready. I had the emergency brake up to keep brake lights from being on, and I had it in gear, and when he turned in, I turned the lights on and lunged at him, and it scared him, and they went on, but then they kept going back and forth, and then he faked me off. But then I was like, that Jeep ought to keep up with that rear wheel drive going up that high hill. And it did. I was right on him. And but I couldn't see him because of the dust cloud. I could just see where the road was, and that was it. And we actually done some jumping, all 4 wheels off the ground. I was on him, and he got to that curve, and he actually wrecked and went into a ditch. And I got out with my 44 Magnum. I was going to just talk to him, you know, and scare him. And they got loose and done another fake off, and went around the Jeep on the other side. And they got away. But I was trying to be rough on them out there to start off with, you know, because I didn't want to get fired. I felt responsible, even if somebody was anywhere out there when I left, which I left at 2:30 in the morning.
I had a guy call in probably a little over a month and a half, 2 months ago, said that he saw 3 Bigfoot, 2 male, female, and a child, or a juvenile Bigfoot, one night with his wife on the property where he worked. And he told the story the next day, and he got fired for it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, my job won't fire me, you know, for stuff like that. You know, they even talked about calling my job, you know, when I was arguing with him on the flashlight forum, Canton Power forums that I'm on. I'm Green Pond Mike on there. But I was, you know, there's a lot of, you know, you might not want me to say this, you know, I'm a conservative. There's a lot of liberals out there, you know, and in the underground, we kind of argue topics and stuff, you know, and all. And it can get pretty bad, you know.
Well, I think we lost our ability to recognize, hey, other people's got other opinions, and if it differs from your opinion, you know, I grew up in a spot where, you know, if you roughed up your knee or, you know, had a cut or whatever, you just rubbed some dirt on it and kept on going. And people have forgotten that's, you know, everybody's got a different opinion. You know, don't get mad over it. You know, get upset, sure, but don't take it like they shot your best dog out because they have a different opinion of you. That's me.
Well, that's me too. I mean, I put my opinion out there and I get attacked pretty much.
Well, the internet, you know, Twitter is the worst thing. You know, Facebook's the worst thing for that kind of stuff. It's just a cesspool. People just literally, they wait to troll you. They don't care what you're talking about. They'll just take the opposite side and say, how dare you have that opinion? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm of the ilk that
like
you know, you can do whatever you want to, believe whatever you want to, and say whatever you want to until you're in my backyard. It's none of my business. You know, you start doing that stuff in my backyard, then it becomes my business. But, you know, on the internet, I don't care. You know, a dime a dozen, more than, you know, a dime for 1,000 opinions on the internet. It's no big deal to me. But that's just me.
You know, people. I'm sorry. You know, I've found out that people are married to their opinions nowadays. You know, I mean, you know, you're a Bible believer, aren't you? You
Absolutely.
know, pretty much.
Yeah, my near-death experience, you know, without a doubt, made me not a believer, a knower that God is real. It's not, I don't have a belief. You know, I guess you could say that's the ultimate belief, knowing that God had his hand in bringing my butt back. Definitely.
Well, I mean, you know, you're grounded that the Bible is the Word of God, the infallible, perfect Word of God, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. No doubt about that.
I am too, you know, and I mean, I can understand other people's beliefs. I respect them, but I don't agree with them. But there was this one lady, you know, I was talking about people being married to their opinions. She was like, you know, at a point where, you know, she was like, she didn't want to think of God as a God of judgment, just a God of love, which he's a God of love, but he's holy. And sometimes, you know, judgment has to come out of love, you know, and I mean, he's spanked me. And, you know, course, that gives me assurance of a salvation, but it wasn't fun at the time. But, you know, I don't know how we got off on the subject. I mean, but she was like, you know, God don't kill people.
Differences of opinion got us there. But
and she's like, God don't kill people. And I showed her from the Bible where he has killed people, like Ananias and Sapphira. And I'm not saying they went to hell, you know, I mean, they're supposed to be Christians, but sometimes, you know, I mean, if you just do certain things, he'll take you on home. And she didn't want to see that. I tried to show her from the Bible, and she still wouldn't see it or believe it. And, I mean, she's married to her opinion. It's her opinion. You don't mess with her opinion, or you mess with her.
Right.
I mean, the contention was so bad that you wouldn't believe how thick the atmosphere was around us, you know, but somehow or another we found peace later on and stuff, you know. But she was a mess. God rest her soul. I hope she found the Lord. I think she died of breathing problems, you know. And I'm afraid my wife's I don't know, she's going to make it through the winter time unless she stops smoking and starts taking care of herself. I kind of, in Lakeia.
Smokers are a resilient bunch, that's for sure. Some of them react to it a whole lot differently than others. And I'm speaking as a respiratory therapist, knowing, you know, that was my job, knowing people that smoked. And they're just resilient. They have a resilience about them, you know. For whatever reason, they can suffer through all kinds of crazy stuff that you wouldn't think they could, but body is just, God gave us a body that tries to recover. That's it. So, wow.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I don't doubt they bounce back. I've seen several of them that ought to be dead now, you know, and they go in and out of the hospital, and all of a sudden they're back going strong. But I know that Lakeia is trying to quit smoking, and if she has any success, I know she went 3 days, and that's been several days ago, I think, when she posted her video or something. She's saying something like she can breathe and talk at the same time now. But if she has any success, I hope she can persuade my wife or give her some pointers, because my wife kind of looks up to her. You know, we've listened to Vault, the old Vault channel, and where
the new Vault channel and the old Vault channel. Now Lakeia's got her own channel.
Yeah, she did a 48-minute video, longest she's done in a while. You know, the other day, had Vault on there. I got finished watching it. He was playing video games or something. But
he and
in the past,
Dark Waters and Bass and all those Truth were supposed to play a game last night, I think, after their live feed, but I don't know if they got around to it.
I think that's who he was playing with that night, you know. But in the earlier Vault broadcast, the old Vault channel, she was on there a lot, you know, and it's pretty funny, you know, her blowing up the microwave with a Hot Pocket. If I was like, what are you doing eating a Hot Pocket? You know, because we done named them people, gives us trouble, Hot Pockets, you know, and he done named them that. And what are you doing eating a Hot Pocket? And she got a little bit tipsy on that Devil's Cut, you know, where they was going to take a shot, her and Vamp. Remember that?
I don't remember that, but I know Devil's Cut, and that's something I haven't touched in 6 years. So
yeah, they was having a special New Year's program, and her and Vamp would take a shot every time Vault would cuss. And
well, he got drunk pretty fast, didn't he?
Yep, yeah, they did. I think they both, it took them a week or two to recover, and I don't think Vamp ever wanted to drink again. And Michaela, I don't think she touched Devil's Cut after that, you know. But she's funny, you know. And she just goes along with Vault, you know. I mean, there's been some male-female personalities through the years, like Mark St. Bob and Jackie Renice on WLS in Chicago. You could pick it up, or we used to could pick it up down here, you know, and they was in the late 80s, you know, when the Beastie Boys was out with their stuff, and she made fun of the Beastie Boys a lot. But that was a good combination. And then there was Andrew and Jessica just recently, I think they called it The Line on 101.1, the Superstation, but they changed their format and fired them. And let's see, and then now it's Fault and Lakeia. That's just a good male-female team. You know, they kind of work off one another, and they're funny as heck, you know. You know, I hear a lot of cussing, you know, and stuff, and I try to, you know, I learned some new cuss words, though, since listening to them in Dark Waters, you know. I mean, I never heard heck to the now, you know, which it ain't heck, it's the other, you know, but
yeah.
I'm trying to not learn new cuss words and just try to stay away from cussing and stuff, you know, but every now and then, you know, I have trouble, especially going to work. You know, I mean, you got these Pokemon that get in front of you, it goes 10 miles an hour under the speed limit, and then they get mad at you, even though you're not really, you're not really riding them or anything, and, you know, road goes straight or road goes to the right. They'll just about stop instead of go on and try to make you hit them and stuff. And I experienced that coming to work tonight, and they've done that one time before. I'm just gonna have to find another route, you know. And but you know, stuff like that'll make you cuss. Well, it will tempt you to cuss. We're responsible for our own actions, you know, and all. But I want to try to stay clean and stuff, you know, and not cuss. But
it's a choice. You know, I have to curb my language as you know, trying to be on the fringe of him and try to get you know, a little bit of a distribution of my show out there. So you got to watch the F words and F bombs and all that kind of stuff. But that's just me. But Mike, I appreciate you calling in, brother. You had some fascinating stories for sure.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, thank you.
I appreciate you calling in, brother. Anytime you got a new story, you just let me know. You know my number.
Okay, I'll try not to give you a rerun or anything, you know. Maybe I'll pick up something else later on.
All right. Okay, I appreciate you. You have a good night and a blessed night, and take care.
You too. God bless you, man.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Mike from Green Pond. Interesting. Do you have somebody in your life that has premonitions, or do you have premonitions? You know, I kind of said some stuff about the woo-woo people. I still have not found, you know, how do you know if you're being contacted by, or, you know, a conversation with something that says, hey, I'm so-and-so, or I was so-and-so. Are they really telling the truth, or is that thing really telling the truth? I have, you know, discernment. Okay, gift is a discernment. That doesn't tell me a whole lot. How do you know? You know, that's just for me from having a near-death experience, knowing that demons and that like can wait you out, and have had more time than we can shake a stick at to learn crafty ways to get past our sensibilities. That's just me. But, you know, that's it. Do you know anybody that has that like kick in the gut feeling, and they talk about it and you pay attention? But we're looking at live Rio Link Vault 1 camera live on the stream right now. Have you guys seen anything other than, I think about 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, we saw something that sort of looked maybe like a cat, possum, squirrel. I don't think a squirrel will be out this late at night, but there's a possibility. But this is open lines 931-994-6917. And let's turn the camera up a little bit, the audio, so if if something gets right up next to the camera and starts yelling, it might blow my earphones off. But there you go. How you guys liking the show tonight? We had a interesting set of callers. We had 6 callers. Joshua, I just got your email, buddy. Finally got it. I'm about ready to look into it. But yeah, the one thing with the woo-woo people, I believe there's people out there that can touch the other side for sure, without a doubt. The remote viewers, I have so many questions that I don't have answers to. Even though I'm chasing the truth, and I've had this near-death experience, and I had the encyclopedia of the universe at my fingertips at one time. I didn't bring that back with me. I wish I could have a little bit. Hey, James, what's going on there? Dragon ZW, you did fantastic. Stimulate, I hope you're doing better, buddy, since you lost your mother. Wow, I've been thinking about you and been saying some prayers about everybody out there. Wow, that's all I can say. Silent Edge, thanks for subbing to the channel. Would be funny if Bigfoot came in your frame. Well, you never know, man. That's the thing. You never know about these cameras. I think by this time next week, or maybe the week after, we'll have a total of 4 cameras for Dogmancams.com that will be at your beck and call fingertips. I think Vault is about to add some more cameras on his property, the ones that you can play with. Do those locating calls or calls for them and play calls over there and turn the alarm system on and all that kind of crap. But not on this one. You can't do that. They'll change the password real quick and get you off of there. But yeah, there's all kinds of, I think, 3 more. But there you go. Wes Vic's just texted me. I'm trying to, hold on a second. I've been waiting for this email from Joshua. All right, here's one from Joshua, the lady. Forgive me, Joshua, the fellow that's in the chat. It was on test drove my OBS Ninja connection, which was too echoey for him. I apologize for that. I'll try to figure that out before the next show and have that as some sort of secondary contact. But he says, hey, Sean, I have another story for you with a picture. Which, okay, let's see what we got here. All right, I got the picture. Okay, here's the story. One night at 3 a.m., me and my sister were watching TV. I went to go to bed, and I heard someone saying, hey, hello there, with laughing. Went to the window and saw a picture below. A man covered in blood standing across the street from my bedroom window, waving at me. I don't know how he saw me, but he just kept repeating, hey there, hello, hello, with a laugh and a smile. I went to tell my sister, but after he was gone, still not sure if the paranormal or real person. Sorry about my audio issue earlier. I believe, Josh, I believe that was on my end. Sometimes it's kind of finicky when you start messing around with these audios and putting in a new audio resource that you hadn't messed with before. You don't know how it's going to react on live on air. I thought I figured it out before. Hey, Lakea, what's going on? Let's see if we thought we saw either a kitty cat or something back, or some sort of small little 4-legged something or other out there. You got cats on your property? Well, it's too small to be a bobcat, that's for sure. But let's put up that. Wait a minute. Why did the audio go off all of a sudden? Well, the stream kind of went. There we go. Stream's kind of getting a little choppy there. Apologize for that. But hold on just a second. Let me move this over here. Here's what Joshua sent me in an email. Well, I think if it... Well, son of a gun. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, my Mac is doing some weird stuff. That's just the way it is. Sometimes your Mac just wants to do whatever. Aha, here we go. Well, no, it won't let me do it now. Well, unfortunately, I can't do what I thought I was going to do. But since we had to have 0 other than that little critter, whatever that was, I'm going to go ahead and silence this real quick. And we're going to go listen to Dark Water's catch of last night, an opossum. An old possum. Seen a bunch of them. The one thing that made me gag when I was a little kid, my dad shot a possum when we were a little kid, and he skinned it right there in front of me, and it made me gag. That was the stinkiest thing. Stinkiest thing out there, for sure. But let's go over here and get to the safari side of things. And yeah, I believe this is it. Is this the right size? Yeah. Okay, here, live stream from last night when Dark Waters caught 2 howls.
What the fuck? Y'all heard that shit?
One second, let's move this back to where it was.
Yo, tell me y'all heard that. Yo, for real. And this project is designed to capture evidence of cryptids. At one point in time, we had 4 operational cameras. We have 1 right now. By next week, we'll probably have 4 again. There's really nothing standing in the way other than the line of people that were at T-Mobile in Orleans Parish with their little mandates where they were like, you can't come in here. The fuck is that?
That's classic. There's DW all day long. Okay, the next one is, let's see, let me go over here.
What the fuck? Y'all heard that shit?
Oh, did. Here comes the other one. Let's go back just a hair. That was just a little too much.
Okay. I don't know what bobcats sound like, but I don't think that sound like no goddamn bobcat. That's a big ass bobcat.
Let's get a little closer to it. Here he is. Here's the second one coming right up. Yeah, what the hell is that? And this is in the back of Lakea's yard. That itself. Now, Vault called me before this show. Hold on a second. Let me pull this one up. And said that poor Lakea got woke up to what she thought was one of her dogs barking. One of the 6 dogs in her house barking, and he was about ready to wake old Vault up to say, hey, go shush those dogs. And apparently it wasn't her dogs barking or making all kinds of noise. But hold on just a second. Let's go over here. What was that? Did I have the right one? Oh, here's old One-Eye. No, actually, here is One-Eyed Willie. I actually had the One-Eyed Willie video up, but you heard the audio from, well, it doesn't really matter because it didn't have anything from the audio from last night's live feed. Here's One-Eyed Willie's feed at, I think it's 6:32 in the morning. After she figured out, Lakea figured out it wasn't her dog, she jumped on the camera and saw this. Right back there in the back. Look at that thing. What is that? How big is that? Yeah, it's way back there. You know, it doesn't look like it's in the foreground at all. So it's way back there in the back. So what is that thing? That was way back there in the background. And this is about 51 seconds long. So this is evidence from this morning at 6:33 a.m. And you can see whatever that is back there in the back again. Calling it One-Eyed Willie. Kind of wonder how big that is. Is it in a stooping position? Is it standing up? You know, we've had video of Vault out there in the background. And that looks like about the height there at the tree line that Vault would be, I think. That's just me eyeballing and guessing it, but I may be totally 100% off. But what do you think that was? What was that noise in the background there? And we're back to the live feed. Well, we'll be live here in just a second since I hit the play button there. Live feed from the backyard of Lakea and the Vault of Nightmares, if this thing will play. we'll see in just a second. But that's the project, dogmancams.com. Run over there and subscribe. It's less than a pack of smokes a month. Especially if you live up in New York City and they're the likes, you can pay outrageous prices for a pack of smokes. All right, let's hit this and go to live. See if that's actually playing. And no, it's not playing. Well, the camera is not reacting to me for whatever reason. But there is the 10:33 p.m. Central Time, which is about a minute ago. Don't know why. Let's see if I can get this thing clear. Let's go to clear. Here, connect that way. And it's connected. Or it may be my internet. My internet may be off. Am I still live over there with you guys? Let's see. Sort of looks that way, though. I'm still excellent connection, so good to say. Let's see. Well, for whatever reason, my internet connection is not connecting. Don't know why. Don't know. There's Fluent. There we go. We're back on. I think 3:52. But let's see. We're 2 hours and a half, maybe a little bit more into the stream. Let's see. Yeah, by almost 3 hours into the stream. Joshua says he'd definitely be moving out of there. Well, that's why they bought the place. That's why Lakea and Vault bought the place. They like that kind of stuff. That's what my... Still hear you, Big Cole. Well, thank you. I've had some problems with my internet, especially in the middle of the night. I'll be watching something like YouTube or wherever, Netflix, and all of a sudden my internet just goes clean straight out and I have to reboot my Wi-Fi for whatever reason. Frickin' Wi-Fi service, but you never know. Yeah, Dylan says, for real, don't know how you and Vault live out there, Lakea. Well, that's why they bought the freaking place. Because of this, the reports. You know, the stories that Vault talked about, there's a little shack that's out back in there. They're now belonging to them. Stories of the old man that used to live there and owned the place. Used to have window open no matter what time of year, how cold it was or how hot it was, to sit there and listen and watch for something playing with his son's toys in that thing. He thought it was Comcast. Yep, stimulated it is Comcast, without a doubt. Which I can't complain too much. They actually upgraded my, doubled my upload speed by double, free of charge. Which that was probably just a standard upgrade. Went from 5 to 10 megs up, so there you go. Anyway, but for whatever reason, this whole thing right here is not doing it's what it needs to do. Yeah, could be a lot of people on there. I don't know. I don't have the connection to it to actually tell you how many people's on there. Vault would know, but I don't. A 700 Nitro Express. For what for? Why would you purchase that, Rex? But this is unscreened open lines, and I tried to do something earlier. And thank you again to oh gee whiz, I forgot his name. Joshua. There he is. Thank you again for Joshua for trying that out with me first thing and found out that, hey, it doesn't work yet. We are going to, not, in addition to the number 931-994-6917, which we've got a unscreened caller on, and give me just a second, unscreened caller, to get you on the air. Okay, you are officially live on the air, unscreened caller. What's your name and where are you from?
Hello, son. This is Big Cole. I'm from Indiana.
Big Cole, what's up?
Oh, not much. How you been doing, sir?
Just talking to a few people that like to talk to me for whatever reason. Actually, I was just saying that to West Vic in a text. I said, I don't know why these people like to talk to me, but they do. I'm grateful for it. So what's up, Big Cole?
Oh, not much. Just wanted to call in and give you a shout out. I had talked to you, it's been way back now, I believe in a little bit after February of last year. I'm a truck driver, and I had talked to you, and we was talking about the cola thing, and I had an incident where I went off the road.
Yeah, you got to be careful about the cola event. You don't want to talk about whether you like Pepsi or Diet Coke or whatever. You just don't talk about it. And unfortunately, they just don't like you to talk about it or say something that's against the flavor of the moment, so to speak.
Absolutely.
But yeah, well, thanks for calling in. Where are you at today? Are you behind the dash right now?
No, actually, I'm chilling out in a hotel, and I'm in Circleville, Ohio.
Wow. Well, you got another trucker up there. Chase was
I heard
up in
the other
Ohio.
one earlier that was on his way to Canton.
Canton,
yes.
Yep, he was well on his way up through there. He's always somewhere. I've talked to him from Texas to Florida to literally a few miles in my backyard. He called me one night. He was literally on, I think he was on Highway 58, if I remember correctly, or 23. That's pretty close by. But,
I'm actually right on 23.
Yeah, that 23 stretches all the way out to South Carolina Ocean.
Yes. Yep.
I've been to the end of that road. Beautiful spot too.
Yes, sir.
But there you go. So, what kind of strange tales have you seen behind the dash of a semi?
I haven't seen anything other than I know it's been a few months ago. I actually saw a mountain lion down close to kind of close to where Chase is going, but it's by 76. I don't recall the name of the place there in Ohio. I apologize about that, but it's kind of the way he'll be going. And I called the game commission, all that, and they say they have people calling in, but there are no big cats in Ohio.
That's what they say. A buddy of mine, Denver Michaels, he's an author and researcher of the cryptids, of the unusual cryptids, and he's talking about black panthers up in West Virginia, which,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There you go. Now, that's strange, and I believe these stories, even though the science comes up and says, hey, it doesn't exist, but people were reporting it like Bigfoot. No, we don't have any proof of it. Okay, well, how many stories that would be, you could probably prove it in the court of law. Do you have to have a dead body? Or do they have a dead body in the DNA? They just don't want to say they've got it. I believe the latter is possible. Probably the best truth.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Because after seeing Blue's evidence that DW put on, I'm more convinced than I ever was.
Yeah, Blue's got a story that you just can't beat. That's the best one I've seen in about 5 years. Not only just the evidence, just his reaction live. That's what sold me.
Oh, absolutely.
If you just got with no sound or any audio or any kind of conversation whatsoever, you'd probably go, "What the hell did I just see?" But that was live stream on Facebook. So kind of wonder what the hell, boy. And that that's what got me. You can't fake that kind of surprise and disbelief all at the same time.
No. Not without being a trained professional actor, and that just doesn't.
Well, I honestly, I don't think you'd have to sit there and say, "Well, I'm going to train this. How did this portion go, or whatever?" To sit there and say, "Well, I'm going to do this." Well, possibly, I don't know, but he sold me on it. That looked like a 100% genuine reaction to what he saw.
Oh yes, sir.
And
Absolutely.
soon we'll have that blue down in Fort Pierce, Florida, camera backup. So folks that are on Dogmancams.com, keep an eyeball out for that. There you go.
Oh, absolutely. That's been very interesting. When you had the caller in a little bit earlier,
Okay.
just left to the two pillars, you had some eyes that were bouncing around, because I, of course, not at home, don't have a laptop, but just have my cell phone, and I had to do some twisting around with it to get it to enlarge, and yeah, it was a set of eyes bouncing to where the two pillars are left to the two pillars, and I think it was trying to recall who you were talking to.
I kept seeing some stuff over there in the left hand portion of the thing. I've got a grid that I can superimpose on this feed, which I had done that today. Let's see. Let me see if I can get that grid up. Where's the grid? Here we go. Here's the grid. I've got grid 1, 2, and 3 going from up to down, and A, B, C, and from left to right. Got that going on, but I kind of wonder, is the grid too fat? Do I need to, skinny it down a little bit or whatever? But there's that.
Right.
But yeah, I've been seeing some stuff. I don't know if it's pareidolia. It could be honestly pareidolia, because I've seen some crazy. Well, okay, camera, I know. Every few minutes it gives me a warning. Hey, if you don't shut this down, the camera's going to run out of battery. Yeah, it's plugged up. I know that. But it's not designed. The program inside of it thinks that it's still on battery, but it's not. But you saw two eyes there, hey?
Yes. I mean, clear. Not even like the one eye Willie. Not even like that. These, they're color. They're like I hate even saying it because everybody says it, but they're kind of like the amber color that everybody talks about. But they're just to the left of those two pillars. They're bouncing around.
All right. Well, you never know. That's why these cameras are out there. It will be fleeting now.
Absolutely.
If it's Bigfoot, I hear they're pretty curious, and I would think that dogmen are curious as well. They don't have TV for like we do to watch, so we're their TV.
Certainly.
Absolutely.
Well, if they did, the problem would be they'd already have your show on, though.
Well, that's true.
It's probably a good thing they don't have the technology.
Well, one of the things that I talked to Vault about all that yelling and carrying on the howls and stuff last night. He had just started. He opened up the vent to his oven. He was cooking steak. He opened up the vent right as all this commotion started going on. Then after that, he had a commotion on the front of his property and the back of his property and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of thinks that might have been what was the catalyst to cause all this stuff. Not only
That's
with
very probable.
Not only with the fire pit he had out there, the bonfire, get them stirred up, and they're kind of curious and probably smelling the remains of the fire and saying, okay, what is that? Saw something can climb, kind of crawl up toward the remains of the fire earlier in the show. Maybe there's something there that they're kind of interested in. If it attracts a small critter like that, why wouldn't it attract a Bigfoot or a dogman?
Oh, absolutely.
And of course, steak being, fresh steak, that's like ringing the dinner bell for most people. Why wouldn't a dogman or a Bigfoot? Yeah, man, I'd be like, okay, can I have a bite of that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Sean, I gotta get off here. I gotta get some of these before I get back on the road. But I just want to check in with you. Wonderful to see you're still going. Things getting better and better. And
I appreciate you calling in, Big Coat.
You and Miss T have. Oh, absolutely. Blessings to you and Miss T, sir.
All right, I'll let her know that. I appreciate you calling in, Big Coat. All right. Keep it between
Yes,
the
sir.
mayonnaise and the mustard. I forgot to tell that to Chase.
Will do. Thank you, sir.
All right. Catch you later.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. Big Cole up in Indiana. There you go. And I think he's just south of, I think he's just south of Dragon ZW. He's up there in Ohio. But have you guys caught anything on the screen there? Big Cole said he saw a couple eyes over there between the pillars. I think it's the two trees there or to the left of the two pillars, if I remember correctly. I may have misquoted him. Which that's oddly enough my talent. I misquote quite a bit, but holy cow! Let me get back here to what's going on. Stimulate, cooking steak in the oven, making some beef Wellington. Possibly. I don't know what he was making. He didn't say how good it was. I would assume on a griddle on his top. Was it good, Lakea? Was it good enough to attract a Bigfoot or cryptid out your back window? Or your back porch? I dare say. Yeah, that camera has been a little active tonight. Not as active as it was last night. I don't think... I think he was talking about dumplings earlier. They may not like the smell of dumplings as much as grilled steak. But, you know... I don't know. I've had some dogs that would just about beg you to death for any kind of morsel that you got. But that was just me. Oh, it was delish. Well, I'm glad. Sounds like the audio is kind of giving out on the camera there. But again, there we go. Hit that cancel. I'm going to stay on for about another 10 minutes to hit 11 o'clock straight up over on Central Time. If you want to call in before that, 931-994-6917, and we'll just sit here and watch this camera. If nobody else has any objection, we'll just sit here and watch this. Listen to the howls about 2 or 3 times from last night, the 2 sets of howls that occurred on the Dark Waters live stream, watching this same camera that we're watching. Stimulate says it's hard to ruin a steak. I'll tell you something. Wait a minute. I thought I heard something knocking in my house. I'll tell you something. My aunt will, if it ain't extra well done, she won't touch it. And I can't stand extra well done or well done steak. It has to have at least some pink in the middle. If not, my favorite's just slightly under medium well. Medium's my favorite, but it just depends. I just don't like it being too bloody, if that makes sense. But there you go. Steak and potatoes sounds fire for sure. Dogman Bigfoot would probably fist fight over that. Yeah, but Dogman and Bigfoot can't reach through your wall and say, "Hey, I'd like to be self-invite themselves." Sounds chewy, yeah. But my aunt's one of those things, you gotta burn it before she eats it. Oh, literally. Crazy as it is. Jeez. I've gotta hop on my own security cam to see what's going on out there in my house. I hear something knocking. And Miss Tia and I had talked about sharing my security cams in the house for live streams, and then she talked me out of it. You don't want that much of attention towards yourself, especially you speak it to existence. From that kind of mindset. If you're speaking it into existence, if you get that much and you're looking for evidence to show on whatever. Or you actually, show it in your house and you're literally giving light to something that might come back around saying, "Hey, I like being on camera." And you kind of wonder, okay, would that happen if I start sharing my cameras out? You talked me into saying, yeah, it probably would if I start showing some stuff that happens in this house. There's like a car going by right now. Let me put password in and log into my own camera system and seeing what's going on out here in my house while I'm doing this live stream. I swore I heard a knock. Well, actually 3 knocks. And that ain't right. Of course, yeah. Unfortunately, it's just what it is. Sorry about that, folks. I believe, oh, here we go. We're going back on live in just a second or two on YouTube. For the folks over on the Paranormal Radio app, I know you're just sitting there and listening to me going, what the, oh God, what's going on? Well, the stream over on YouTube just decided to do whatever it wanted to do, but it looks like I'm back online now. Sorry about that, folks. I believe where I was stressing out the processors and stuff on my Mac, decided it didn't want to do all those 3 things at once. A live feed on, oh, well, let's get this back up here and running. Too many cameras all at once. I can't look at my live feed cameras by myself and then be a voyeur in the backyard of Lakea and the Vault of Nightmares all at the same time, but there you go. But hopefully that will get back. YouTube can be just a little bit cranky sometimes, is all I can tell you. But got about I'm going to give this stream up about 5 minutes. If you want to call in, 931-994-6917 is the only way to keep me online right now. But in 5 minutes, top of the hour, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Simulate says, I'll give you 15% discount on any Apple product. That's kind of cool. Well, Apple products is a couple of grand. So you won't give me 150, 300 bucks off. Well, that's cool. But I got the live feed there running, hopefully. Let's see if, how it's looking on the screen here. Looks like it's still running. The audio's kind of choppy, but let's get rid of that grid. That grid seems, I'm going to have to work on that grid or some way, somehow. Get that, put up another grid there besides that. Oh, there's the audio. It's coming back. For the folks that complain about the audio being choppy, that's just the way it comes off these cameras. Even my own hardwired cameras are choppy sometimes. There you go. We're back and at it again. It's just the marvel of the digital age. I can look at a camera that is, let's see, 600 miles from me. No, probably not 600 miles, about 450 miles from me. Like it was right next door. And people are complaining, hey, the audio's choppy. Okay, sorry about that. Stimulator buys the refurbs too. Well, you know, yeah, sure. The only thing is you got to watch out for the batteries. That's the one thing that I've had to do. I've had to change out the laptop battery in this thing and its screen. And that was just about it. I was like, I'm too old for this. My eyes can't see that little stuff. And I had to buy a super powerful magnifying glass to do that. Gotta do it. Yeah, I did it. There it is. It's working. That's what I'm doing this show on. But I refuse to do it again. But yeah. Next, if I do get another Mac, I'll definitely get it refurbished. I'm looking at a Mac Mini, actually, refurbished. That seems to be pretty good. But since they made it so unupgradable, Shell, that's what I'm considering about getting a super thin version of that thing. I just popped that up there to say, is it a work in progress? That's what you do with this thing. This is Dogmancams is brand new on the market, and to show it live like this, thanks to Dark Waters, Dogmancams, to give me access to being able to share this while live on stream, live streaming this stuff. And holy cow, is it gone again? Well, it says excellent connection, but I can see the spinning on my end. What the heck's going on here? Well, it looks like it's all connected, but YouTube's spinning. Or the Paranormal Radio app, I apologize for this. It's just one of those things. YouTube just does not like me sharing out a live stream. But anyway, that's how it is. And it says we're connected, but excellent connection, but there's a streaming yellow circle there. I don't know what's going on with that, folks, and I apologize if you got the little circle thing. Shell, yeah, I will work on the grid to make it smaller and get a better thing. I was just doing something to see if it works, and it works. I think DW and I, or DW was talking about it, and I said, well, that sounds pretty good, and I'll see if I can do the proof in the pudding kind of junk. So there you go. It takes time to get things where you have a little better control over, but we know crap happens, yeah. Well, impromptu stuff like this, how many people actually share out live cams anywhere? Well, there's probably a few out there. That's what you do on TikTok and YouTube all the time, but remotely control something way off hundreds of miles away from me, well, and hit that cancel thing right there. We can get a clear view from the moon landing in the 60s, but cannot get connection in 2021. Well, I'll tell you something. We didn't have all this RF frequency crap going on that we have now. Well, we probably did back then, but now it's got 5G, 6G now. Can you feel your brain cells melting? Uh-oh, I hear something. Can you hear that? Sounds like chopping or something. I'm staying quiet to see what that is in the background there on the cam. Sitting there watching this live with you. But we're being bombarded every day by UHF, VHF, and what other frequencies that the government says, hey, we have and we don't have, but they won't tell us. Targeted individuals, the TIs, can attest to that. They get bombarded with all kinds of crazy crap. Well, actually, the OBS, I've been learning. This is a 2-year learning curve for me. So, do the math there. It took me 2 years to be able to do what I'm doing right now with this OBS stuff. And I'm still trying to learn as I go along. So, yeah, there you go. And this open lines thing, I've had figured out for a while, and trying to incorporate another open lines addition. I still got to figure out. OBS Ninja. Look that up. OBS Ninja is like the StreamYard stuff, but for free. Fantastic. But it's for free. OBS is friendly OBS studio stuff. Full hats. Hey, there's not too much behind that. There's some stuff to that full hat thing. That blocks out some frequencies. I've had a discussion with a couple of people that are in the know with communications, and I said, well, you get these RF frequency jammers, or these little bags that you see that will protect everything from EMF. And he said, well, that's all fine and great. You have a working thing if something bombards you with frying frequencies, but everything around you that was fried, the towers and everything else, well, you got a working piece of something that cannot connect with anything. So you got essentially a working brick still. Full hats block out friendships. Oh, well, there you go. True. We can go down that little road for sure. But okay, well, I gave about 5 more minutes. Nobody's called in, and I think I'm about done with this thing. I appreciate you staying with me for the time that you did, go to Dark Waters, IamDarkWaters.com, and Dogmancams.com. If you want to email me, Sean G, SHAWNG at IamDarkWaters.com. Definitely subscribe to the Vault of Nightmares 2.0, Dogman Cams, Dark Waters channel. I'll be over there this Saturday. I may do another impromptu stream, as long as I don't step on anybody that is in the Dark Waters family of shows. I just don't want to, dual cast with anybody, anything like that. But definitely reach out to me, 931-994-6917 after the fact. And I think I'm done with this 3+ hour show. And thank you. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to almost say the closing prayer. Dear God in heaven, thank you for today. Thank you for everyone that called in today to this show. Please bless each and every one of them. Protect them from everything that's evil, dark, demonic, extraterrestrial, interdimensional, extra-dimensional. Keep them all safe, sound, and prosperous. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. And folks, thank you. Holy cow. Yeah, hit those thumbs up. Subscribe if you like it. Sub if you love it. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to play any music. I'm just going to turn my mic down and let this play for another 3 minutes or so. Get to 10 minutes to the top of the hour, and then I'll end the stream. So enjoy nothing but Dogmancams Vault1 for the next 4 minutes. So there you go. Thanks, Shell, Stimulate, Dragon ZW, Lakea, the Vault of Nightmares, all you fine folks out there. Good night.